This is a very problematic holdover from when we were youngsters.
Well,
This
it's
is
just my school, man. Like every other one canceled. So, like the Air Force Base shut down. So,
there you go. Yeah.
yeah, it's like Fort Carson was on a 2 hour delay, and then they closed, and like community college closed. All the districts are closed. So, it was just one of those things where it's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to go in either.
Are we going?
Yeah, I'm Pat.
Okay. All right, Pat. I'm Jeffrey. No, you're right, and I know that the district that my nephew and niece are in, if they see a leaf fall, they
They closed first
yes.
because that's the district where that kid froze to death like 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Was he waiting for a
he
bus?
was waiting. Well, so they closed the school. No, they didn't close. What? There's a story behind this
There
that's really
is.
sad. So I can't remember exactly what it was. Um, they decided to do a late start, very very late. So like maybe an
That's
hour before
fun.
the buildings were
Yeah.
supposed to open, and some kid's parents didn't see the notice. They dropped him off at the bus stop, and he froze to death. So because it got colder after the sun came up.
I know that's weird, but it happens.
It made the story
Yeah.
really sad, man. Um, and so yeah, I think that was your brother's district. That was more than 4 or 5 years ago. That was probably about 10 years ago now.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
It's
but ever since then, every school's been really gun shy of that, thankfully. And I mean, like, shit, my daughter's school closed last night. We got the notice at like 8 o'clock. So I was like, all right, well, we can all sleep in. Because, if the big district closes, usually the rest of them do too,
right. Right.
Um,
Unless you happen to be in one of those districts where, hey, dude, sometimes the snow doesn't hit you.
sometimes it
It
doesn't
just
hit you,
doesn't. Yeah.
but like even on D11's website, they have a policy on there that they have like 5 or 6 snow days baked into the schedule off
Right.
the bat
Right.
where they will just burn those, and then you only have to do any makeup time if you go through like all 5 or 6 of them.
Right.
And it's just like, yeah, I mean, come on, man. The that junk college that I taught for, it never fucking closed. Okay, and the reason was because their schedule was so tight and they were so picky about instruction
Yeah.
time. But I mean, we have students fucking playing bumper cars on the way in to get in there.
Yeah, I mean that's the tricky thing, and especially when you think about if you go back to that level, before college.
Well, these guys are all driving there,
Oh
so
no,
yeah.
right. But if you're talking about the quote unquote contact hours that they have to have every year, right? I Because that goes back to when we were kids. It's like, all right, so you have this planned out to the minute where
Oh yeah,
you have nothing to spare at the end. Because I remember we did have to make up a day once at the
hmm
end of a school year,
yeah. I
right?
remember. I remember having to do that once.
Just once, and I think that was at the time where,
It was just a fuck around day, though. I remember that.
well, if you remember the last, I don't know if they still do this in elementary schools. I have no idea, but I remember like the last week was useless because they had
hmm
already posted grades.
mm.
And so what they would do is we'd stack all the desks on top of each other
Oh, in
because
grade school?
yeah,
Yeah, you're right. We used to have clean out day,
uh-huh.
and then we have like a day that was nothing but assemblies and awards.
So those awards, and then the rest of it was a mix of
That's when
recesses
we
and
always had a
outdoors
talent
and
show and stuff like that.
yeah, and they'd
Yeah,
show movies
they'd
actually.
show
Well, yeah,
movies. Yep, I
but
remember
we'd be
that.
sitting on the
I
floor
remember
because
doing
all
that
the
in high
chairs and stuff
school.
were
Actually, I remember watching Tombstone in high school during the last week of school once.
I wouldn't doubt it. I
Yeah,
think they might have done the same thing.
because there was a day it was like, oh, it's movie day over in the auditorium. I'm like, all right, let's go. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think it's like that now. I think that because of computers and stuff, you can actually post stuff.
Well, yeah. Now, like half the school districts say, so, oh, it's an asynchronous day, which means just get online, look at the fucking PowerPoints, do your quiz, and call it good. You know?
That's a pretty good euphemism for dick around.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it still counts as contact hours.
totally
You
fine.
see accreditors come by, you say,
Yeah,
yeah, kids are turning in shit that day. See, like me now, I just cancel class. Fuck. I
It's
ask my students.
imperative, man.
I just ask
Yeah.
my students at the beginning of the class every semester. I'm like, "Who here has a problem with this?" Now I know you're not going to raise your hand in front of everybody else, okay? Because you don't want to get your car keyed, or you don't want to get bricked in the parking lot, or something. But like if you legit have a problem with this, please just let me know. You can do so confidentially via email. You can drop a note in my mailbox. I've never gotten one in 15 years.
I wouldn't. Well, because are you good? Are you good about if you're going to make that call, you make that call early so nobody takes the trip out
I
just in
make it
case.
way before.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, like the school's
yeah,
supposed to post, like if they don't close by like there's a policy that they're supposed to make the call by like 6 a.m.
yeah.
If they don't make it by like 6:15 and I'm looking at the traffic cams, I'm like, fuck this. I will immediately get on. I will email everybody. I'll set up the text alert,
Okay.
and I'll be like, no, I'm not having class today. So, just go work on this from the comfort of your own home, please, or dorm or favorite bar, whatever.
Pick a place that's warm and stay there. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
yeah.
And I also understand. I mean, that's the we do have a little bit of a different snow schedule than we used to before, and if anything, I would say that the biggest change that we have is we have a period that is cold, but we do not have the snowfall
Yeah,
that we
no,
used to. Right?
no, we don't. Well, the one thing that I think is a little bit different is that, like, here, like, I remember a lot of days back, when we were kids, or even like, when I was working at the airport those days,
Mm-hmm.
where you'd have a lot of days where it just kind of put snow, kind of like all
Yeah.
day, kind of thing, but it never accumulate. It just stay cold and icky, and windy and shit. And then now it's like it just shows up and and then leaves.
Well, now and you're absolutely right. Part of that is we have this weird thing where sometime in March,
Oh, we get
maybe towards
plastered.
April, we're going to get dumped on really bad.
Yeah, we get plastered. And then sometimes in May.
Sometime in May.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as,
We
and
had one this last May. So that
I'm
was
gonna,
weird.
yeah, I'm gonna go so far as because I was trapped in this once. Was I was jogging on like June 2nd,
Yeah, it snowed. Yeah.
and it got me.
Yeah.
Now here's the problem is by the middle of that day there was no evidence that a
No,
snowstorm
no,
ever
it
happened,
all baked off.
even
Yeah.
though there were like maybe 2 to 3 inches on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and I was soaking wet by the time I got home.
Yeah.
But as soon as I went to tell somebody, this is like that mouse and that kangaroo, right? Where that the little dog sees a mouse and he comes out there and he's like, "Hey, boss, you can go kick his ass." He goes back in there and there's a kangaroo and it beats the crap out
It
of him.
beats the shit out of it.
Right,
It was usually Sylvester.
but he never sees it.
Yeah, I'd never see
Oh,
it.
it's Sylvester. That's right. That's right. And his little was that Sylvester's kid?
Oh, yeah, Uncle's. Yeah.
Is he like uncle or
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't recall Sylvester ever. You know,
None of those characters ever did. Goofy was the
uh,
only one who had a son. It's like, where's Mrs. Goofy? So,
there is that. Well,
does she speak Vietnamese?
wait, hang on. Okay,
Did you meet her in Vietnam?
no, that's okay. So we do have an issue. So by that by that weird thing, that means that Scrooge and Donald are brothers.
No, Scrooge is his uncle.
Yeah, but they call him Uncle Donald too. The
Yeah,
nephews call him.
I've got that. That's fine. So,
It happens
dude,
sometimes
my
where you
my
have
wife's my wife's uncles. My daughter calls them her uncles.
okay.
So yeah,
So Uncle is just like a
not dad.
like
Yeah,
it's like Don. It's like Godfather.
no, it's
it's
like old man who's not my dad.
right,
Yeah.
right. Well, he's obviously not everybody's Godfather. This is a term of respect. So okay, well that would sometimes look in family. Sometimes you do have a big disparity. It's like, well, my parents had their first kid in '68, and I was born in um, '70 or even longer. Sometimes like '75.
Yeah,
Right
sure. My mom's family's like that.
there, you go. So I'm wondering if
I
it
think
could be that Uncle Scrooge was
there's like
just straight up.
17 years between my mom's oldest sister, and youngest brother.
Now there
Yeah.
are kids in between there, though, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
including my mom. Yeah.
maybe that was it. Maybe they are
My
actually
my
brothers.
my in-laws my mother-in-law's family is like that too.
Are they?
Yeah. I don't know if it's quite 17 years, but at least it's good. Yeah, probably.
Well, and you had the distinction of knowing someone who kind of was confident in their vasectomy, but
It grew back. Yeah.
yeah.
No, he
So
was
there was a
graduating high school and he got a little baby brother that year. Yeah.
that may be probably the biggest gap that I've heard of.
That one was kind of funny. Yeah. So, to be fair, that guy's parents were a lot younger though. So, because they had what? They had three kids, and then his dad got this vasectomy, and then everything was fine for because yeah, the oldest son in that family and the youngest son, they got a sister in between them. There's only like 4 years between all of them, so it's just bang, bang, bang. You know,
God damn it! Like this is this
and
thing
then
you're
there's a
talking
kid.
about is well,
Then there was a baby.
it's not just that. It's just
It's like the Griffins. Yeah.
well, we're walking through this. Yeah, that's true. We're walking through this here, and we're just remembering like 3 kid families, 4 kid families, and all this
Mhm.
other stuff. I haven't. That's not as common as it used to be by a long shot. I
I
don't
gotta
think.
tell you, I just don't know that many. Like people who have kids, um, or at least commensurate. So my brother-in-law, between my sister-in-law and his previous wife, they've got 4 kids. So right there, um,
Okay. You know what?
yeah,
I suppose like combined couples
that's
typically
a little
that
bit
that
more
happens a little
common.
bit more
Yeah.
common. Yeah. Um, I know that we used to see that a lot of times where it's like, yeah, these are my 3 brothers,
Mhm.
right? And they're all from the same mothers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you don't see it quite as much. So that's because people have kids when they're a lot older now. So
Well, that being said,
that's a problem.
well,
Yeah.
okay. So let me dive into this because there was some. I was doing some digging, talking about the the quote unquote housing crisis, et cetera, right? So,
Mm,
this has been in the news quite a lot recently, right?
yep.
All right. It sounds like you did some digging on this too.
No, I
Like,
just keep bumping into it, and it's turning into one of my pet peeves. So
why?
it's just overplayed. It's just come on, man.
Well, it's sort of overplayed for a reason.
Well, there's a lot of reasons. So I know which one you're talking about.
Which one?
You're talking about, oh, we're kicking the immigrants now, so rents are going down, right?
Oh no, no,
Oh, okay.
no,
Which one are you talking about? I thought for sure that was where you were going.
no. This was just a question of like functions in mathematics. So, all right. So when it came down to the biggest argument that they've been using recently, because the one that they've been absolutely pounding on recently, is that the average age of the first home buyer.
Oh, it's 40.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Yep.
right around there. It's very close to 40. I think it was something like
Hmm.
38 point something, right? But it
I
may
thought
as
they
well
hit 40.
it may as
So
well effectively be 40.
yeah.
So, all right. And so they've been showing this graphic about how it's been increasing over time,
Hmm.
right? So much to the point where you got enough points to draw a line,
Hmm.
right? But there's one thing that they never talk about when they're addressing this
Hmm.
is post 1945.
Oh, yeah. Built just the whole idea was to build everybody a house. So.
It wasn't just build everybody a house,
Hmm.
right? The other component of this was life expectancy at the beginning of the boom goes from about 63
Yeah.
to 75,
Yeah. It goes way up.
right? And so there's this thing where they're saying, all right, if you take into account how much longer people are living and they're not vacating because they're still alive, right? Because the question was,
Hmm.
is it multiple house owners that's causing this? Is it places that are buying this? Is it shortage? There's nothing to do with it. It's that the people that have them are still alive, where when they got into that
Hmm.
market, because they're like, oh, we bought this house in Hollywood Hills for $10,000. Now it's worth 4.6 million, and it's a single, bedroom place.
Well, that started with its original fab. It was a starter home. And so
Exactly.
that's the thing is they don't build starter homes anymore because there's no reason to do it. I mean, unless you get like government help or something, you put fucking granite countertops in it, call it luxury housing,
Right.
and then you charge a 30% premium. If I was a builder, I would do the exact same fucking
You would
thing.
do the exact same fucking thing.
Yeah.
And again, the whole component of that is yes, that's how you get the maximum value. But much like if you go into the back of the Beckett's card catalog,
Hmm.
it's worth what people are willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
So ultimately, if you have a glut of these, the
Mhm.
prices will come down significantly. If you have a shortage, they're going to go up, right?
Well, that's the part that nobody's talking about, with I mean, like, you don't have to dig too far into real estate economics, and some people really know what they're talking about to realize that, like, okay, your home is not going to be your primary vehicle for wealth over the course of the next 20 years. So, because
These 20 years.
these coming 20 years, yeah, because
Right,
they're just not going to appreciate like they did the last 20
right,
years.
right. Versus when
So,
they were. Yes.
oh, they totally
Right.
were. Um, they're just not, because quite honestly, a lot of people are going to hang on to their homes until, they have to get moved out and go into a home or something. It's just care. And, like, quite honestly, people just don't move like they used to. So
Doesn't seem like it.
it doesn't. So, you know, and so, yeah, your house is going to maintain value for the next 10 to 15 years, but it's not going to, fucking quadruple it like it did in the last 20
Right,
years.
right.
And so, that's the whole thing, man. I mean, part of it, like, the real cause of the housing shortage, in my opinion, is HGTV. It's a whole bunch of people that you can make fucking mailbox money
Yeah, yeah.
by,
No,
by
that's
becoming a mini landlord. You know?
you're right. You're right. I mean, that's.
So,
I would argue that's a component of it, but the fact of the matter is, when you account for essentially, look, it had everything to do with basically how long people were living. Because the
yeah, I'd buy that.
when it comes down to when did the first people start buying their homes at this point, and you look at how much longer people were
Yeah.
living, it's like, well, yeah, okay, if this many people are occupying this, then yes. And then you realize, like, okay, so by that same construct, if you look at this and say, like, all right, theoretically, people should be building like crazy, but you shouldn't
But they're
because
not. Yeah.
because the market you're going to have way too
Yeah.
many in about 5 to 10 years.
Oh, 2 years. I
So,
mean, you can crash the market. I mean, they can, like, Pulte can go out there and put up a fucking new neighborhood in 2 years or less.
oh,
They
I'm
already
just
have, and that's the point. Is like all you have to do is get on Zillow or even just get on Google Earth, Google Maps, and go out there and take a look at everything that's been plotted but hasn't been constructed yet. There is
oh
a
oh
shitload of land out there that has been plotted, like your utilities have been roughed in, but they're not building on them yet.
where
Out by your brother's house.
out there?
Yeah,
Oh,
tons of them.
like further east or like south or
Kind of like between you and him, and then down Mark Shuffle.
when's the
So
last time you've been out to like Will's
it's been
area?
a hike. It's
Okay.
it's been a minute.
Well, let me say
So
this. This is you remember when we used to uh that drive like when you now exiting Colorado Springs, right?
yeah, you had cow land.
Well, you get Cowland, but also, I mean, there's this thing where you're going to drive, and then you're going to see like a couple smatterings of things here when you pass Castle Rock and Monument, right?
Oh, up that way?
Yeah. If you're just going north on I-25, right?
Oh, I've done that recently.
Right. Okay. So, but it used to be that, and then
Yeah,
why are you laughing like
dude, like, you get north of Castle Rock, it's just city.
It's just city.
It's just city.
Yeah, it's just
I mean,
city.
it's hidden by trees, but it's there. So,
So when you go out to Will's place now,
same thing.
yeah, it used to be just you'd have to sing or something to keep yourself awake. But yeah, at this point, it's
It's only 10 minutes away, dude. Come on, man. It's time to bust out the Dan Carlin here. So we're going to learn about the Roman Empire for the next 4 hours. Come on, man.
but you have to come back.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, maybe because of traffic, because there's only one fucking road to get out there. Yeah.
I
No, there's a lot
oh,
of construction going on a little bit further south now.
really
Yeah,
like past.
I'd say south of, like, past out on Mark Shuffle and then down a little bit further, closer to the Air Force Base down there.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
you can just get on Google Earth or Zillow and look at it. They got tons of new builds and all kinds of stuff. And I mean, they're not that expensive. I mean, even for, quote, a starter home out there, you're looking at median house price, so like 250 or so. You can do that. So
They'll give you a loan for
they'll
that.
totally give you a loan
Yeah.
for that. You know?
Now it's not awesome lending time, is it?
No, but it's not terrible.
Okay.
So, I mean, the thing about mortgage lenders is they've all gotten careful. So, because like you get so scorched 20 years ago or 18 years ago
Yeah,
now,
that's true.
a while ago, and
Yeah.
then there's new regulations around that, so they don't do all the bullshit loans that they used to do, and they have to carry so much, they have to have so much skin in the game, so anymore that they're pretty careful about it, man. But you go around and you hear people, oh my god, I'm never going to get a down payment. You don't need a 20% down payment. Here's the thing that most people are saying, oh, I need a 20% down payment because I don't want to pay fucking PMI. And it's like everybody pays PMI in your first house. Fuck off. You know, so, dude, your income's going to go up. Your income's going to go up. All right. And then you can turn around and refi that bitch and get rid of it. And then it's going to feel like a huge raise. So, it's just, come on, man.
Well, and that's I was wondering if there was actually a little bit of traction to that 50-year mortgage in the sense that this is going to be transitory. This is going to be something where, and I wouldn't do it.
I'd do it if I was starting out, and especially if I was getting myself into a career field that had a decent, at least a couple like decent.
You could see some stepping
You could
stones.
see a few
Yeah.
stepping stones, while you're going to stay in that house. I would do it, especially if it lowered, the monthly payment to the
yeah.
point in time where you could get into something like. I mean, if you carry it for 15 years, yeah, you're fucking stupid. So, you you're going to remember a mortgage means till you die. And so that's that. All right there with a 50-year mortgage. But I mean, it would actually be a pretty legit tool to actually get a whole bunch of people into houses, or at least. But here's the thing, all right? So there's no such thing as a policy that favors home buyers and home sellers. That's just not possible. Okay, and so here's the problem with the 50-year mortgage: is it absolutely favors home sellers. Okay, because it allows a whole bunch of other people into the market, okay, who normally would not be able to get there with their current means and stuff like that, which means prices aren't going to come down in a case like that. I think Donald Trump and friends figured that out, maybe like 2 days after he well, I don't even think it was him, wasn't his Treasury Secretary? No, it was the housing guy who floated that out. Whatever. But everybody was saying, "Oh my God, you're going to pay so much interest on blah 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 blah." And it's like you do that on a regular mortgage anyway, man.
Right.
So
Right.
and when it comes down to it, I mean, the one thing that you can be guaranteed is that your income is going to go up. And so, no, don't spend it on fucking bullshit. You don't need that fucking premium access pass at Disney when you're 22. You know, you need that when you're 45 and your knees just can't take it no more. So
Those are the exact people that they stopped allowing basically like rent a handicap for.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because they were doing it.
yeah. I know they were doing it. Yeah,
Okay, but okay. So in that sense,
it's just like requesting wheelchairs at the airport.
oh,
I've seen people
yeah.
do that.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the wacky thing is, yeah, there is something to it where you say, all right, well, if that makes a difference between, you know, 2000 and basically like 1750, I can absolutely see that,
Oh yeah, sure.
right? Being a difference and saying like, I can afford this or I can't afford this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But yes, you do have a point there where, and again, this is something that's been talked about. I recently watched something about the troubles that the European Union is, and it may even be worse than we think.
I don't know, man. I've kind of disengaged from that. I can't tell with any kind of like clarity like who's trying to sell me bullshit on that anymore. Because like I was looking at some of the immigration numbers, and I mean, you'd think that like fucking half of England is overrun by Pakistan, and it's not.
Well,
It's a very, 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 very small number.
no, it's not.
Well, it
No,
is
no,
compared to the overall like population of the country. It's just concentrated in
no,
particular places.
that's the problem. So basically, it's been broken down to me like this. Okay, this is when a couple of British guys were talking about it. He's like, all right, so here's the thing: we have London and we have everything else,
Yeah.
right? And so, but if you go to London,
Yeah.
where basically, I can't remember what I said. It was like basically all of our GDP comes from here, right?
Oh, it's good 80% of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
So, but London's always been like Singapore of fucking Europe, you know? I mean, so it's always been a city with a country glued around it, you know?
okay, I can give you that, but in terms of like racial composition, no, that is a more recent thing.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But I'm just saying that I don't like, I have to be really careful about who I take things from when it comes to like what's going on. Okay. Because like, I'm sorry, half of those are like just outrage recruitment ads. You know? So,
Yeah, yeah.
and the English are particularly fucking good at that. So,
Yeah.
like the other thing is, it's like, all right, so, not my business, okay, but, why are you coming over here to America and complaining to us about it? Do something about it. You go do something about it. It's your fucking country. I mean, you have an easier election system than we've got by miles. Okay.
Just ask.
Yeah, just ask.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably like it's hilarious. I mean, there's some people there. I was like, oh, I talked to my MP the other day. It's like I've never even seen a representative Congress.
I did. I did.
You did. And I mean, I've seen like one or two of them over the years at like the airport, but it's not like, oh yeah, let me go down into the pub and complain to me prime minister.
No,
You
no,
can't
no,
do
not at
that
all. No,
here, you
no.
know? And so it's like, well, fine. Okay, so it's time for y'all to either do something about that or not. Okay. It's your country, man. It's your business. So and I feel the same way about like Finland and stuff like that, Finland's kind of on my shit list right now anyway. So,
It's an interesting choice.
well, there's a fuckers who, like turn city skylines into wonders. So a very, very personal beef here that's really petty. So,
All right. So now listen. The thing was, I wasn't going to go the immigration route. The one thing I can promise you, and this was something that I did go on the rabbit hole in, just for the sake of numbers, because I wanted to see if this was actually true. And what I can tell you here is when they say things like rape is up like five, I'm sorry, when grape is up like 500%, that's absolutely
yeah,
true.
that's probably true.
And when it
So
comes down to who the perpetrators are, that's
yeah,
absolutely true.
yeah.
So that is something that you can't take away. Now, there are a couple components where you say, how is this happening? Why are you letting this happen? Are you not allowing the cops to kick ass? What is your.
Dude, their cops are weird, man.
The
So
cops
I
are.
was looking at some of that, and basically, like, so this is another way in which America is far, far superior.
Go on.
It's like as much as I like to pick on Roscoe and Enos.
Yes.
All right, so at least Roscoe and Enos are local boys.
Yes.
Okay, whereas in the UK, apparently, like there is a police manufacturing industrial complex.
Yes.
Yeah, where the local boobs send the guys to go get brainwashed, and then they come back and then they like do the whole thing there. And knowing what I know about like education systems and kind of how like concentration really does actually equate to a lot of power in the hands of some people who get really up their own ass. I can totally see that happen.
Look, man, there is some truth to that joke where they're saying you got a license for that phone. That's not too far off. The other thing is, my understanding is that the police there are essentially like the firefighters in big cities, where um, they have strict things. So when you come out there and you look at the police force in Britain, and you look and you see there are a lot of pudgy girls on this squad, right? You see two or
Oh.
three women trying to basically subdue like one guy, and so it's yes, we have to get this many more in before we can take another applicant of this style.
Oh, is it like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my understanding is it's a lot like that, where they're very much
See, and like
enforced.
here, at least it's, fucking every local jurisdiction kind of sets its own rules as long as it doesn't get into trouble with, disparate impact, which is really hard to do when you're recruiting locally.
I
So
think so.
it's really hard to do. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, you take a look at Atlanta's police force, I guarantee you it's half black.
It would
Okay.
be weird if it wasn't.
Exactly. That's because they draw
Yeah,
from local candidates,
yeah.
and stuff like that. Same thing. If I went to Whitefish, Montana, I'm pretty sure I know what the cops look like there. There's going to be one guy, and another dumber guy, and then a dog.
You're talking about the places where the police station
Station.
is a combo building with police station, post office.
Grits. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. It's a police station post. It's also the
It's
DMV.
the
Yeah.
DMV. It's the courthouse.
It is the courthouse. Yeah. Yeah.
I have been to those towns, and so have you.
I've been to many of them.
There was, I remember, there's one in Nebraska. I used to pass it all the time. You said you used to be out there. He's like,
Mhm.
that's the diner I used to eat at.
Yep.
But you go down the streets like there's a post
There's
office.
the post office.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
It's the post office slash UPS store slash, I mean,
Would you like to buy a computer?
exactly. It's the PC repair.
Did you lose
Need
a
to buy
dog?
some minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this your lost dog, sir? Yeah. I
Yeah.
know. Phone cards. The last phone cards in America. Oh my God. Yeah. No, I totally understand. And there is. I think one of the things that the United States does exceptionally well is they do actually manage small towns fairly well in terms of what their autonomy can do as
Oh
far as
yeah.
finding an equilibrium within the system.
Dude, if you're a sheriff, you have more power in a small town than you do in a town like this.
You're
You're a god. Yeah.
no, it's not even just sheriff like you were talking about when you were a train guy in a small town.
Oh yeah.
People just you were
Famous.
like a celebrity.
I was the guy who could give out jobs. So
Right,
yeah.
right.
No. Yeah, and that town was real small. There were like 900 people in it, man. That was real small.
I worked with a lot of dudes that were just straight up, that's as big as I want it to get. If it gets bigger than that, it feels like downtown Manhattan.
Right, yeah.
Like
To two subways. Fuck this. Yeah.
you wouldn't believe how many times I heard that kind of shit.
Yeah, I can buy that. So I definitely knew some guys like that. I don't know, man. I like my McDonald's count to be more than five. So
It's not just more than five, it's that it's reachable within five.
reachable within five. Yeah, there
Yes.
we go. But I wouldn't want to live in a small town that had one McDonald's and just live next to it. So
No, because that's the town center.
right,
I go to
or it's
McDonald's.
right next to the highway. It's going to be one of those two
Yeah,
things.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, if you live in a place where it's like, well, there's the interchange.
There's your
Yeah,
Arby's, there's the Wendy's,
yeah.
there's the KFC, and then where's the town? It's over that hill.
I feel
It's
like
like
I've
I
been
think I
there
see
too.
smoke coming from that direction. Yeah. The tire fire's been going on for 30 years.
To be fair, in some of those places, I will say that in some of those places, if you just get over that hill, you see houses
Oh
that
yeah.
just they bring a tear to your eye. It's like this is
This is gorgeous. It's
yeah,
like straight out of Yellowstone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Couple of communities where you see it, and those are all the houses over there when you just crest that ridge, and it's a sight to
See,
see.
this is another beef that I have with England on this one in particular, man. So, you know, like, so the average, I think I saw it the other day that their median income is terrible there,
Awful,
like compared to what it is here.
fucking awful.
Okay.
Yes.
But so like I do this thing where I do get on Google Maps and I just like to look at the earth. And I was just like, what does England look like? And now you like with everything on you can with any country basically in OECD, you can zoom all the way down to the house level and
Yeah,
it'll put you in the little like hanging guy that you put on the
absolutely.
street.
Yes. You can get
Dude.
so close where you're like, that's John.
Right, yeah.
I see him. He was out
Exactly. I
walking
see him.
this
Yeah,
day.
he was
Yeah.
out walking his dog. So they must have taken this on a Thursday. You know? But you get out in the English countryside just a little bit, there are fucking mansions everywhere.
Oh.
Oh my god, dude. I mean, in Wyoming, you saw like, okay, there's a 40,000 square foot fucking complex over there that was built off cattle money, but it has like 900,000 acres of land around it. I mean, it's got like basically like fucking Rhode Island, with no people in it.
Like that house has turrets.
That has
Yeah.
its turrets, yeah. This one has its own zip code. You know? So, but then you go to England and you start just cruising around on some of these back roads and you just pass to something. It's like, holy shit, dude, that house is worth billions of dollars.
It's an island. The
And they're
space is
everywhere.
limited.
They're
I know.
everywhere there. And so it's just like, all right, man, you ain't fucking poor.
So it is really haves and have-nots there.
Not my
Like,
problem.
I know. I get it, but I'm just saying, like, yes, you see the mansions and occasionally the castles that are still there,
Hmm.
still owned by people out there. But you do get, like, when you get to the other communities and and you see the places that you were a fishing village in Shakespeare's time and nothing has changed for
Nothing
you,
has changed, yeah.
right?
No, I see that. And you go and you look at like the docks and stuff, and like 90% of them are fucking rusted over and not in use anymore, blah,
Get to
blah,
the
blah.
corn walls and stuff.
All
And you're like,
kinds of
oh,
stuff
God.
like that. I
Yeah.
get that, man, but still at the same point in time, I mean, it's like, all right, so methinks the lady doth protest a bit much here,
Well, all right.
in
So,
some respects. It's like,
again, no, and I do understand that, and this is my it sort of dovetails into the thing where I wasn't talking about the immigrant crisis, which will be a big issue. This is you guys are either stem the problem or risk Hitler's, but that is what you get.
I think they're going, they're aiming for Hitler's. So,
You
yeah.
you have to hit the bleed valve, dude. You have to do. But anyway,
If you
all
don't
right,
clean the sink, you get flies, man.
that's correct.
Yeah.
The thing that I did not know had so much disparity was they took it back and they said, "All right, I want you to look at. I think it was 2008.
Mhm.
They said the United States and the European Union are
Mhm.
at right about the same GDP.
Yeah.
Okay, and now there's a $10 trillion gap between the states and the union.
Yeah. And they've got like 200 million more people in the union than we do.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
We didn't realize it had gotten that bad.
Well, I don't know if that's bad. I mean, that's still better than like fucking Africa, but I mean,
Come on.
okay, fine. But still, at the same point in time, I mean, the EU's expanded a lot over the last 20 years. Okay, there are parts of it that are doing great. Okay, and there are parts of it that are struggling. And the question is, does it actually stick together? I don't fucking know. I mean, shit, if you had asked me that question 10 years ago when all that Greek shit was going on, I'd be like, oh, it's fucking cooked. But that was 10
Right.
years ago, man, and it's fine. I mean, dude, they seem
Fine's
to
a
like
relative
it. They
term.
seem
Well,
to
yeah,
like
yeah,
it.
all right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, yes, fine is a relative term, but you're right. Well, I mean, so Italy is facing the same trouble they were before.
Depends on which
Um,
half you're talking about.
Still connected though.
I know.
I
It's
mean,
still, well, we have America's frown down there, too. That
we do,
we do.
we do.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the. You're right when it comes to doing rankings. Yes, there should be two sets of
I think I saw it the other
scores.
day that the median income in Mississippi was higher than LA. Come on, guys.
Higher than one?
Than Italy.
Oh. I think you're right.
I
No,
think it
I
was.
saw
I think
something
they
too.
had
Yeah.
finally. I think we had finally gotten all the states in the United States above the median income level of the OECD. So, which is crazy if you think about it, man. So
I have been to Mississippi.
I have not. I've been close to it. Um, I doubt it changed much. The 50 miles that I had to go further.
I say, yeah, I don't remember much of it. And I also know that my parents never spoke highly of it
Mm.
because I guess we lived there for a little bit.
Oh, Mississippi.
Yeah, there's an Air Force base down there. I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, my parents lived in
Louisiana?
the
Oh,
Panhandle of Florida for a little bit.
what's down there?
There's an Air Force base there.
Do you
There's
know
a
what it's
big one.
called?
No,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't. I do not. But they were there for a bit. During Vietnam.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that was the thing is they were in Mississippi. That was where they were stationed for a bit, and they made it clear like I miss nothing about
I
that state.
miss nothing about Mississippi.
Nothing.
I don't know, man. I've known a couple guys from Mississippi. They really like it. So,
Well, I'm sure like any other place, if you go to Georgia, I'm sure that there are beautiful spots. I'm sure that there is the fucking hood. It just
oh, in
depends.
Georgia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
I've been
certain
in
in
Georgia in a
Mississippi.
long time.
I'm certain in Mississippi it's the exact same way.
Oh, yeah. You can find that just about anywhere, though. Mm.
I mean, there were civilized places in Wyoming.
There might be more than one.
Uh, well, so
Jackson was pretty nice. Jackson Hole was really nice. Casper wasn't bad. Cheyenne wasn't.
Cheyenne is fine.
It's fine.
Gillette was great. Uh,
Oh, yeah. I forgot about Gillette.
like
Gillette's like the most corporate town in America. It's hilarious.
it works.
It does work. It totally works, man. This Cyberpunch picture is not as bad as you think it is. Just go
Well,
to Gillette. You can see it in action.
Gillette, I will say too, there is something about that place that is absolutely, I don't want to say 50s, but there you don't have to worry about certain elements when essentially the city is, well, it's nighttime. So everything closes down.
Everything closes down
Everything closes down at 8.
except for the 3 bars.
The three
So,
bars and that Arby's. That Arby's stays
yeah,
open later than you think it is. 'Cause
yeah,
I remember getting there very late, checking the phone. Is anything open, Gillette? It's that Arby's.
yeah.
Um,
I'm surprised they didn't have a 24-hour subway.
yeah, you're right. That is often the staple of the.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So we had my little 900-person town, 24-hour
Yeah.
subway / gas station.
What is that place? We all know it. It's that place where you go straight into it.
Douglas. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's the place with
That
the
place is shit all.
it's the place with the turn.
It's the place with the turn.
Actually, it's the with the junction, I should say. You have the turn that goes this way. You have the turn that goes that way,
And then you get a little bit of town, and then you get out. Yeah.
and there's the hotels right there,
All the hotels are right there.
right there.
The Arby's, the KFC. That place had a Taco Bell. So
Pretty fancy
it was pretty
for
fancy.
Wyoming.
Yeah, for Wyoming.
Actually, that other place with
Laramie's really nice too.
Laramie, okay,
I've only been there once though.
and the place with the brothel,
Lust. That's not a nice place.
It's not bad. Hey,
Bro, I spent a lot more time there than you did.
at least there were green places.
There were green places.
They had grass.
They had grass. Yeah.
Yeah, I got out there and because there was grass and stuff, it was one of the few places where I'd stop and just like
Yeah, they had a
walk the
park
dog and stuff.
right in the middle
Yep,
of town.
yep, yep. But if I recall, the structure of that place was weird, where you drive in and it seems like city, and then it turns into like a granary.
City.
If I'm thinking of it, there's like these huge like stacks of
Yeah, I think there was an elevator there.
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there was an elevator
yeah,
there. So
yeah. Yeah, it's again. I don't want to poo poo on the people that are. Hey, I like having this much space. I like having places to horses, whatever, anything
yeah, sure.
where yeah you have that extra space. But it is like we've said, it's not for me. It's not.
No, that's not for me either, man. So I'm a city boy. I don't want no land.
That could change someday, but it doesn't seem like it'll suit you because land
For
requires
me,
maintenance.
yeah, no, I'm very low maintenance, man. So
You would have to be in the echelon where people were doing the maintenance for you,
yes,
and then I could see it.
yeah, but I no, I'd spend my money on something else besides help.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't disagree. That's
Yeah.
a pretty solid decision.
Mm.
No, I gotcha. I totally gotcha. It's weird. Uh, but yeah, when I started looking into the sort of like the problems and stuff, and they were talking about one of the biggest things they said was like Germany is in particular in a bad spot.
Germany's weird, man. So to be fair, it's probably been about, oh, I had a couple German students last spring, and I talked to them a bit, and I had one from Norway. Um, or no, he was Swedish. He was Swedish. He was excited to go back home because he had a job lined up. He was in banking, so he had a pretty bright future.
Oh, okay.
But some of the other ones, I mean, like two of them were trying real hard to stay here in the United States. So just looking for jobs wherever they could get work, so they could get a, what is it, the not the H-1B, but the actual work visa, the green card,
Right. Right.
B1, I think it is. I don't remember.
I mean, everybody has just said green.
Yeah, they were
yeah.
really trying hard, but it's really difficult, man. Because like it's an expensive process for an employer unless they do a lot of them. So now when I was at that conference down at the Broadmoor, I guarantee you 90% of their staff down there is on work visas. So
Oh,
I almost guarantee it, dude. I mean, they had every nationality that you could possibly fucking think of. I heard more languages spoken down there than I'd probably heard in ages in one place. So, but I guarantee you that's because they do enough of them that they probably go and recruit overseas to some of these big hotels and shit and say, yeah, we can get you into America, kind of thing. Um, and as an employer, I can see why you would do that because if you have legal migrants, okay, you got a pretty heavy hook into them,
yes.
So yeah, this isn't people. I mean, Broadmoor's not paying people under the fucking table. So
That is true.
yeah,
I mean, we knew people that worked there, and it's not like, oh,
that was your granddaddy's Broadmoor, though, man. That was a little bit different.
well, I mean, here's the thing: is you say like this granddaddy's Broadmoor, but at the same time, they did still have a reputation.
They did.
It was the reputation then; it's the same reputation now in terms of like the expectations are way up here,
Yeah, it's still a 5-star place. Yeah,
and they were up here back then.
they
And
were.
as we were talking about, it wasn't they weren't paying so much more,
Mm-mm.
right?
No, man, we peeled off what 3 or 4 of their bellhops to go
right,
be skycaps.
right,
Yeah, it's not like they were
exactly,
paying a mint,
yeah,
but like it's just I can see that as a business strategy, but like unless you have like a skill set that really fits into like an organization like that,
yeah.
where your languages or multiple languages really help you, then it's actually really hard to get a visa in this country. So, because from the employer standpoint, if you're just hiring one guy, it's not worth it because it's like, it's going to cost you thousands of dollars and shitloads of paperwork. HR is going to fucking hate you. So,
Yeah. Well, and let's be real. Just in terms of regular people, just a regular schmuck that you've hired, right?
yeah.
We do have choices here.
Oh,
Ergo,
yeah, totally.
there's a lot of people that feel like if it's been 3 months and they just haven't felt a turnaround, they're like, I'm not getting it. It's not clicking.
I'm
I
going to
don't
go
like
get a
these
different
people.
job. Yeah.
I'm going to
I'm
leave.
out. Yeah.
And if you're on that visa, it's not the same.
No, no, you kind of stick with it. But I tell all my students, like any job you get, I tell them, you got to promise me at least 6 months on that job. Unless your boss is like outright abusive or something like that, or if you see like highly illegal
Yeah.
activities going on. But in that, like, especially since most of they're going into like management jobs and shit. I'm
There you
like,
go.
dude,
Yeah.
especially if it's a new industry or something like that, even like you got to give it at least 6 months. Try and shoot for a year because you're not even going to know what you're doing after about 6 months. So then by a year, you might be able to say, okay, so I can see a trajectory here, or it's like, oh wait, the fucking owner's son-in-law is my boss. It's never going anywhere.
That does happen.
It happens a lot. Um, but yeah, if you're on a visa, then that's a little bit different, especially if you're working towards citizenship. Um, but again, I haven't dealt with that too much. I don't really know that much about it. I know that we kind of put the clamps on doing any international recruiting. Um, it's just hard for us because, man, we can't get other people to come here. So,
Well, first and foremost, this is the reason I don't have a problem with this, just in general, is all right. if we've been using this as essentially a stopgap from the gap between what we're training and what we have,
Yeah,
that's a good wake up call to say that we are not moving in the directions that the market needs. So
yeah.
much to the point where we've had to use this valve to other places. Um, Most specifically, 75% India, actually a lot of more. But
Oh, for
yeah,
H-1Bs.
yes. Um,
Yeah, I mean, but that's concentrated in certain industries, like,
but that's what I'm saying.
well, that's so shame on those industries,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And it's kind of like one of those things. It's like, I mean, a lot of people, I mean, I hate this idea that you must hire the most qualified candidate kind of thing, because that's the thing that keeps a lot of people out of the door. Okay, because if I have a guy show up and he's got five different fucking degrees, and he blows the water out from underneath like 90% of my candidates, and I hire him, okay, that's not no man. I mean, lower the fucking requirements for the job.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm
Well,
saying?
well, I mean, if if the person that you need has that, then
Right,
I don't
but
see a problem with
well,
that.
I do, especially if someone's using like that as the determining set in terms of like, okay, so especially today with the internet, because I mean, I can go out there and if I throw out an application, I'm going to get tens of thousands of hits on it. Okay, and if I put the qualifications really low or lower than something, then I get another magnitude or order of things on that.
Yeah.
Okay, but still, at the same point in time, if I keep this qualification creep thing kind of going, all right, eventually it does get to the point in time where okay, fine, I'm choosing between five or six really highly qualified candidates, and I'm ignoring 9,600 of them. Okay, those five or six highly qualified candidates are going to be much more difficult to retain. They're going to be much more difficult to keep, and they're going to be much more difficult to actually tell them what to fucking do around here because they jump through all the hoops. They know how the game is played. At that point in time, I'd much rather hire a local boy and train him up. So
I see what you're saying. I mean, so there's two components to this that I I catch your drift on this. All right. So the first thing that I see is like I can absolutely see your point. Um, and I think there maybe should be a situation where you can have you can have X amount of positions that are sort of like designated for kind of like the Yankees farm teams, right? You don't you have the big draft, but you
yeah,
also have some people that you develop under. It's like, and if you develop under, we're going to pull you in,
yeah,
right?
we've done that for a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
But as
I
far
mean,
as
smart business owners do that anyway. So
well, that's the thought.
But my guess is that the companies that are responsible for dragging in as much H-1B visa talent as they can are full of fucking highly competitive, super academically oriented. I got the A in the class, so I get the prize kind of people. And that's what you get when you get to
And so the problem, describe it. There was one image that went exactly through my mind. Is that is essentially like the that is like the top 1% of Tinder, where if you have all these
or
things,
YouTube, whatever. Yeah,
well, no, I'm
yeah.
talking about that because I'm
No,
talking
you're
specifically
exactly
about
right.
dating.
Yeah, you're exactly right when it comes to that.
Because when
That's a
you have
really
all
good
the
analogy.
choices,
Yeah.
you are not necessarily when they say like these guys are awful. It's like yes, because they can be,
Yeah.
right? That there was I was
It's not good for the rest of us.
now to that end, there is a component where you say, all right, if this person is here because they have these qualifications, right? And they are actually able to parlay that in a valuable way,
Mhm.
fantastic.
Yeah, that's great.
But you've said it before, and there is some truth to this here, is when you sit down with a person, because I think this is a metric in and of itself, is do I feel like you can get along with the people here?
That is my number one criteria for
And
hiring.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that
Yeah,
because
no.
like
People have been afraid to do that for like the last 10 years, though, man. And so it's starting to come back because, quite honestly, I mean, like a few of the employers that I know, they're like, we just can't get help, And it's like, well, what's the problem? And, then a lot of it is this. It's like, it takes me so long to hire that eventually I have to go with somebody and then we get them plugged in and then, it turns out that we didn't have time to develop that relationship, blah, 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 all these things. And that's one of the first things I ask him. I was like, well, did you aim too high, man? I mean, I mean, it's always better to underhire a little bit than overhire. So
Well, and it's, to that end, you do have that. You do have that valve again of you have the freedom to say, actually, that dude's overqualified.
yeah,
Right. That's something that you can sort of brush people
you
on.
can.
And I think that's fair because I know that sounds crazy, but I think there is an actual truth of being overqualified. I think there's a
Oh no, that's totally a thing. That's totally a fucking thing. I mean, if you're overqualified for a job, all right, so I mean, immediately your employer's going to be suspicious. So, like, why the fuck are you here? Are you hiding alimony payments from me or
it's a
something?
great question.
Yeah, exactly. So, or why would you step down from a previous role like that to come here? You got to have a good answer for that. That's got to be genuine and believable.
Hey, sometimes the answer is, I hate that work.
Yeah, that's
I
that,
never
that,
want to do it
that's a
again.
legit answer, especially if you're doing something different.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, I made it as far as I want to go in that field, and so you guys look cool, and so I want to come work for you. So
absolutely.
yeah,
Or due to say, especially in your field, I want to get back in the classroom,
people say that. Yep. So
and I
I've
think
seen
that's
it.
fair.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I've seen
yeah.
that. I mean, a lot of times in my profession, it's location. People are like, I've always wanted to live here. So okay,
Great answer.
great answer. Yep.
What's a bad answer?
Huh?
What's a bad answer?
In my profession,
What would be a bad answer?
bad answer in my profession.
An overqualified person. If you ask the question, well, I can see that you were on this board, and you were here. Why do you want to work here? What's a bad
I
answer?
don't know. I don't think I've gotten one yet.
Okay, because we're talking about it happening, and
It's probably happened.
I feel like we should be able to cite one, but I just can't come right off my.
I mean, I've definitely interviewed a few candidates, and I haven't been on that many hiring committees yet, but I've been on enough of them where, I mean, there's definitely some where it's like, you can tell it's people problems.
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
oh,
you can kind
oh.
of tell
Okay, all right.
that, so I just want to try new things, and I want to go to a place new, and I'd like to work on a couple committees, and I'd like some time to think about my research and stuff like that. It's kind of like, you can do that where you're at.
What about if
Yeah.
what about if somebody were to say to you, okay, if you ask that question and say, what do you want to do here? And you say, I had some real problems with management last time around. Would that red flag you?
Well, no, but we're going to put that on hold for a minute here. So, yeah, I mean that begs an instantaneous follow up.
Is there
So
is there something that you can do to ferret out, was management bad, or did management dislike you
I would
because?
ask him about a particular. I was like, oh, really? So tell me, what kind of policies do you have in place that you're struggling with at your current institution?
Okay.
And if it turns into a people problem, you're going to find out real fast.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
or something along those lines. I don't know. I'm not very good at interviews, so people lie to me all the time, and I can't. I can't tell. I can't tell when people are lying to me anymore.
I think, Patrick, I think a lot of people saw that one TED talk on YouTube, and I think they think they're experts on ferreting out when someone is lying and
Yeah,
when they're telling the
exactly.
truth.
It's
And
not
I
just
just
like,
don't
oh,
think
he always
it's.
looks up and to the left. It's like, no, man.
No, you do have the one, and there is some truth to this where, and again, this is sort of a limited circumstances thing. Is what should they do to the person who did this, right?
Yeah, but everybody's seen that talk now,
That's what
man.
I'm
Yeah,
saying.
exactly. And so, I mean,
It's a
fucking
spec
Wayne had
question.
that one figured out 20 years ago. He was like, well, when I get confronted in negotiation, I get mad. And I was like, are you mad at him? He's like, no. People don't respond well to aggression. So,
True.
yeah, he figured that out a long time ago, man.
You take the deep breaths where your nostrils get huge.
For the last time, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's surprising how many people overestimate their abilities on that. So,
They just watched the one talk, Pat. They didn't practice in the mirror. They didn't go to.
well, the other thing is that, like, the practice set of people that they usually do it on is so small. So,
Oh
like, you
yeah.
constantly lie to
Yeah.
your brother or your mom or something like that. I mean, you get good at that. So, but like, I mean, you have to lie to a lot of people
Here's the thing. Well,
to get good at it, man. And I mean, yeah, like you just don't run into people who are comfortable doing that.
this is well. Here's the thing: is yes. If you are coming across someone that is like this, I've made this argument before, and I'll make it now. Is if you are that skilled of a liar, there is an element of sociopathy that's in your head
There is,
because,
yeah,
yeah, you have a total lack of empathy of what
yes,
your complete disregard of the truth
yeah.
does to other people.
Yeah, now that to be fair, we need to separate those from your just chronic bullshitters. So, I mean, chronic bullshitters are basically fucking harmless once you figure out who they are. So,
That's the problem.
because
Is
there's no sociopathy behind that. So,
no, you can tell exactly where that's stemming from. You're like, you come from a place of deep hurt.
right, yeah, you're telling me your ideal state, not your actual state. Yeah.
Correct. Correct.
So, yeah.
And if you're in that position, sometimes it's like, it's not my place
Yep.
or
Yep.
interest to unpack this.
Yeah. Yep. Sorry, you just hit the give a shit kill gate. You know.
I mean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to nod and I'm going to roll my eyes, but I am not going to.
I don't know, man. I've gotten to a point like I've been bullshitted so many times. People were doing it to me this weekend.
What was the occasion?
Just like students do it to me all the time.
Oh,
All right, so
okay.
my car broke, blah blah blah. All this stuff. I just had it all off at the pass. I'm like, not my business. I don't really care.
Right,
Okay, and it's not because I don't want you to succeed. It's just not my business. All
right.
right. So if you need an extra day or two, fucking take it. Just tell me when you're gonna have it. And that's my defense on that one. Because then it's like I'll have it to you by Tuesday. I don't see it on Tuesday. Zero. At that point in time. So
Yeah,
but I mean, that's the thing is you can tell a bullshitter is because they'll actually turn around and they'll take whatever you give them.
that's a
So
good way of saying
a
it. Yeah,
liar
yeah.
will not. Okay, they'll figure out a way, to get you, because that's half the thing. Um, I've only run into a few people like that in my life, so
Again, well, they're a
they're pretty
very
rare.
yeah, they're a difficult breed, and some of them ultimately, depending on where they are or what they're doing, that's perfect for what they're doing,
It is.
right? It's perfect for what they're doing. But that's the I think you've drawn the distinction there is a person who is a skilled liar in that regard can move cars all day long.
Oh
They
yeah,
can like
yeah.
there are people. So this is the weird thing is they'll ask you, it's like, is there anybody in Amway who really went diamond and made all that? It's like, yeah, that guy did,
Yeah.
right? Or they'll turn around. It's every place that you go where they're like, well, Jim can sell insurance all day. You listen to a call with them, it's like,
Yeah.
really? Okay. And that's the thing. There are places that where you can absolutely, and if you're in that position where you profit from it,
Hmm.
right? Then you can almost see it as meritorious, right? You're like, you're actually
There's something a little harmless about that one, but like,
well, the company's going to say you're making us money.
well, yeah, I mean, unless you're burning bridges while you're doing it,
Well,
it just
absolutely,
depends.
yes, yeah, of
See,
course,
the liar, the true bona fide liars that I've run into in my life are usually in a position of like they have to do it for self preservation. It's not so much like I'm trying to
Oh,
get make my numbers at the end of the month. Or mama wants a new
self-preservation.
car. You know, it's something like I don't want to go to fucking jail. you you know?
Oh,
Yeah, or like I really need this job, and so I will absolutely murder you off. you know,
huh? Oh,
if I
okay,
sense that
okay.
you're a threat to me, kind of thing. Those are the ones that I'm talking about, I guess, a little bit more than your con artists are a little different.
But yeah, that's the thing is you have to have a little bit of that sociopathy in
Yeah, I
you
think
to
so.
do that. I mean, I see people some people struggle with it, where they're like,
Totally.
this burdens me. I'm looking like Obama's second term here. Like, just
Was it that bad?
well, that was the thing was
Was it that bad?
he didn't he didn't have a head painter come in there and actually cut, take care of the parts where it was gray.
All
You'd
right.
see it happening, and then maybe like the little island, but the island would become
Right.
it would become a continent really
Yeah,
soon. And
infested with gray.
yes,
Yeah.
and within a short period of like 6 weeks into a second term, it's just like maybe I've drone struck enough people, but he did not.
Oh. Well, Donald
Not
Trump's
a,
trying to outdo him now, man.
I don't votes I get all day long. That's something where that's what separates veterans from recruits is whether or not you
Whether or not you
shot
double
votes.
tap them.
Now, the second that you say we want to do land operations in Venezuela, that's people.
I don't think he's. So.
I know he's playing chicken, but eventually, here's the thing: is eventually when you play chicken, you have to run someone over. Sure, that's you can't on the highway. People have to believe you will do what you're going to do.
Right.
Otherwise, they know that you will move.
Well, there's almost nothing that's public on this, man. So it's kind of, I mean, other than them, showing the tapes and things like that. But I mean, are there negotiations going on? What exactly do we want out of this? This isn't like Ukraine where it's like get out.
Right. Here's the map.
Right.
This is where you are. This is where you need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like Israel, it's like kill them all.
Depending on who you are, it's which one. It's like
Right.
Yeah.
And so this one's kind of like, well, what are we doing? I mean, this is just interdicting drugs. Okay, maybe this is how we do this from now on.
Well,
and everybody's like, oh, we're gonna take the oil, and I keep seeing this stupid argument, man, and I'm like, fuck. It's like, is there not a single oil man on fucking Twitter?
I've tried to answer for this.
Can't.
I've tried to say, I don't think you get it.
I don't think you understand that we live on an ocean of fucking oil.
Ocean of oil.
Yeah.
Equipment waiting to be used. I mean, I will say this. If you set up, I don't know if you still do this anymore for when you look for jobs, rather, but Indeed or whatever may ping you every now and then and say like, "Hey, you were looking for this kind of job, or you used to work in this field."
Oh yeah,
right.
LinkedIn does that to me.
Yeah, and what I've noticed in the past, I don't know, about 3 weeks is I'm seeing the old jobs that I used to have pop up, right? Saying we need LWDs, DDs.
Yeah,
the same company.
Yeah,
and I know that my company, with how much of a shit show they were, would probably be one of the last to be trying to pick up people, which means Halliburtonium and all the rest of those guys have been over there trying to shovel guys in because they don't hire those people at those prices if the oil is not coming out.
Yeah, that's true.
And again, this is when you're done drilling, or they say, "All right, we're going to put it down," right? They don't take all the oil drilling equipment, right, and say, "All right, well, we're going to melt this into." So
we're going to build a cheese making factory.
They don't take they break into pieces and they store them.
Put them in the containers that they shipped in, right?
Well, some pieces, yes, they're the big parts, but yeah, they still put them on those trucks. But they don't sit there and say, "Well, that's non-mag, so those are going to be spoons." That's
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
with that shit. Like, if the time is ready, and this is there. Basically, people who are in that business, they are sitting there waiting. They're looking at the tickers, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as they see that, they're going to say, "Go,
go,"
and they're going to pull out all that equipment and they're going to go there because they're very fucking good at it.
Yeah, yeah.
And they know exactly when they can make money and when they can't.
And they know where it all is.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Because they still have the leases for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they constantly do surveys too. So.
Oh, those were done a while ago. But yeah, there's nothing that's going to stop them from. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not Venezuelan oil that we want.
When have we gone? That's the thing is people say that when have we gone into a place, attacked it, and just like gotten buckets or whatever and just said like, this is ours.
We took over like the 5th largest oil producing nation in the planet, and we didn't take a drop home with us.
No.
And nobody gets that. Everyone, it's all about the oil. It's like,
man, retarded?
Yeah. It's like,
it's like, did you see guys like turning up their shirts and filling
Filling up in buckets. Yeah.
exactly.
I'm gonna pass out buckets to the 82nd Airborne. Fill that tanker up, boys.
I was like, when did you see
We're getting while the getting's good.
when did you see tanker trucks or whatever
Yeah.
filling up with oil and leaving
Yeah.
that place? Did you ever see one? No, you
Not a
didn't.
single one. Yeah.
And we never. That's the thing is we. I know that we had to put out fires.
Oh, and the first one, yeah, because it
Yeah,
blew up their own shit.
right. But we didn't just steal it.
No, we fixed them and
We
left.
fixed. Yes. That's that's the thing.
Just
Is
fucking read something, dude.
yeah. It's be like, guys, you realize when we do this, and again, it's like, have you ever heard of a story of American people going down there and drilling Venezuelan oil? No, that doesn't happen. Do they come in there with barrels and buckets and take it? No, that doesn't happen.
Well, what's that country that's right next to Venezuela there that has a shitload of offshore oil that they
Oh,
were going to
oh,
invade like a year ago?
yeah,
And
yeah.
then they realized that there's not a single fucking road that goes between the two of them. And
There's
so,
not.
no, it's pure Amazonian giant snake, man-eating snake
Oh my
territory.
god,
Yeah.
the movement and attack penalties that you get going through that stuff are
Oh, it's terrible. Your defense
unacceptable.
value. I mean, you don't
Yeah,
even need to defend it. You just let the snakes do it.
I,
So,
you're right. You're right.
so, but anyway, like, Exxon had some kind of big deal with their offshores off there. And so, and apparently they have the good oil, not the crap oil. So,
Also true.
you know,
I mean, that's the other piece is there are different oils.
right. I understand that Russian oil is really, really nasty. So,
It's terrible.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's terrible. That's the thing. That's one of the problems that they have with it is they're missing. They do have refineries and they can refine their own crap,
Yeah.
right? And because they have that, it's something where they can then. That's one of the reasons they've been able to sell it to Europe. This is
Right.
one of the big things, and that's one of the Germany problems, right? Is
Yeah.
so their big concern right now. This is where their industries are in big trouble. Is energy, right?
Mm.
And so there's a couple of things that really bit them in the ass. Number one is we get our energy from here.
Mhm.
We can't get our energy from here anymore. There's a couple of things is that blew up, right? But on top of that, there's sanctions and there's fights and all this other stuff. There are people that don't want us to take any at all. We had 3 nuclear plants. We have shut all of them down.
Oh, in Germany? Yeah.
Correct. And when they shut down the nuclear plants, they opened coal plants.
In Germany?
Correct.
Because they have coal.
You got to do
You
something.
got to use something.
I mean, that's the tricky thing is when they shut off the nuclear plants, you say like, "Hey, great, what's next?" Oh, we got that, and you have seen coal mining.
So one of the things that I learned was so when I was on the railroad, coal territory, we were running 80 trains a day.
Yeah.
Now they're down to 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We don't burn shit for coal anymore, man. They're down to 12 coming out of the Permian Basin. That is nuts. Or the Powder River. So
That is
it's
nuts.
nuts.
What's the percentage of drop on that?
Oh my God. What? Yeah.
It-
That's what? At least a 70% drop?
at
That's
least.
crazy.
Yeah.
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 That's crazy.
In such a short period of time.
Well, 20 years. So.
Look, there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people saying that coal is going to be forever. So it's
Well, there's enough in the ground up there for 250 fucking years. So,
yeah.
if it
No.
comes back to that, then here we go. But now, like, I've been reading this stuff on, like, actual, AI and the amount of energy that it's using, and how, like, there's companies out there bringing up these modular nuclear reactors that are
Yes.
basically fit in a fucking shipping container and you can link them together and stuff. So it's like, okay, so the Scott Adams win for him again in the slow moving disaster.
To his credit,
To his credit, it's the best theory. It applies to almost everything.
I will say he's right more often than he's not.
Well, if he so I saw this the other day that um who so I've been watching these history guy podcasts, and then I've been watching a lot of the science ones too
Oh yeah.
lately. Yeah, I've been on this kick with like this guy who does this like Cosmos one, and it's not Neil deGrasse Tyson.
He's
Oh.
he's become insufferable.
I still like him.
I like him, but he drinks his own Kool-Aid.
He does drink his own Kool-Aid, and his podcast is terrible. So, because it's basically him and a comedian. And if you put a comedian in any of these things, I might as well just watch fucking Joe Rogan.
That's
So,
correct.
because at least he doesn't crack that many jokes when he's got somebody serious on there. And I can skip the insufferable ones where fucking Theo Vaughn or somebody shows up again.
Yeah,
Whatever. So, but anyway, where was I going with this? Anyway, these history guys, they were banging on this guy called Graham Hancock. Have you heard of him? He's been on Rogan a couple times. He's this guy who thinks that archaeology is a fucking scam. And there was this giant Atlantean civilization like
I
three,
would have remembered that.
yeah, like 250,000 years ago. And he's written like 9 books on it. He's filthy fucking rich and blah, blah, blah. But so they were kind of going through his theories on Atlantis the other day. Okay. And, and one of the guys was being really cool. He was like, all right, so I don't know that much about this. And so tell me what he says, as fairly as you possibly can, and then tell me why he's wrong. Okay.
Okay.
And so the other guy did a good job. He's an ancient historian, so he knows his shit.
Okay.
And so he's talking about like, well, these are the sources that we have. This they all comes from Plato, okay, and the rest of it's all like stuff that was written 1,000 years later, okay, and then like these are like we're all the different archaeologists over the years who have added to this myth, okay, trying to find Atlantis, and
Okay.
they were doing this. And he said, to be fair, they were doing the same thing with Troy, and then we finally found it, and so it was like, okay, so maybe the Odyssey wasn't all bullshit, maybe Plato's not all bullshit, but that was
All
as
right.
nice as he got
Okay.
with him, because then he started going into like, well, then he has this theory about how it was actually in the Pacific, and that like all the brown, red, and white people come from a same common lineage, and blah blah blah, and it all goes back to an ancient civilization that was so advanced that they were basically at our level, but it got wiped out by an asteroid or something that
Oh.
we can't necessarily find, blah blah blah. So he's like basically he was like, look, there's just no evidence for any of these things.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But he said, here's the real kicker. He's like, if you're an academic, or if you're a philosopher, or if you're a mathematician or something, you get one good shot. Okay. Meaning if you come up with one really good theory, okay, everybody starts to pay attention to it. Okay. And they see if it's valid. And if it survives that process, then congratulations, you had a good idea. When you come up with 50 of them, now we know that you're up to something else, because
All
you
right.
would spend all of your time on that one thing if you truly believed it that much. And so Scott Adams has his one thing, and it really does fucking work.
Well, it does. The there are other the things that he also did. I don't want to say they're risky per se.
Right.
They're risky in the sense that yes, 3 years ago,
Right.
okay, during the worst times, and you remember me, I was there, right?
Mhm.
During the worst times of the grossest tech oppression that we had, right?
Right.
These were the things that was saying this would get you sent to the internet gulag, and they did,
Yeah.
right? So certain things that he said, yes, again, it's yes, they're about race. No, you're not wrong, but we've also kind of crested that hill.
Yeah.
So the problem right now is, well, actually, I mean, it's not necessarily a problem. I find it problematic. Is all right. Well, if you've gotten here, then that crowd wants to take it a step further, right? Because there's a point where you can sit there. I can sit there and look at this. You and I can look at this and say, like, all right, evidence number one of basically you say like, all right, here are the problems that I see, and I'm going to come at this from an academic standpoint. Case in point number one, this thing that we call the achievement gap. All right, so and we'll have certain arguments to say like, all right, this is why this is a problem. This is learned helplessness. This is, this,
Yeah,
this.
that's been around a long time.
Been around a long time, but there are still some people that don't want to hear it, right?
No, they built careers on it, and so
Absolutely,
yeah,
right?
I
But,
mean,
right.
yeah, there's like vested interests in certain the same thing with the income gap, pay gap, whatever you want to call it, things like that. I mean, there has been so much scrutiny put on some of these things that you know if you're taking any of those stances semi seriously, okay, um, you have an uphill climb now because
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
countervailing evidence has done nothing but grow.
Or at least
It's
you have to acknowledge
Well, and the same thing's true with climate change, okay? Because I mean, yes, all right, so we can measure the parts per million CO2 in the atmosphere. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got it. But the part that we're fucking up is what does that actually do? And we've been fucking that up for 25 years. Okay. And so when you come to me and say that Florida's going to be underwater in 2 years, I'm like, you said that 25
it.
years
That's
ago,
correct. Yes.
And
Yes.
so the evidence just isn't there, to support those claims that you were making 25 years ago. And the same thing's true with the pay gap and the achievement gap. Once you start to parse it down a little bit, you start to see that there's really nothing there.
Well,
Um,
and I will say this: when I did a little bit of a dive on climate change here too,
mhm,
right? This is a lot of this. I said, what does the AI have to say about this? Go ahead and aggregate what you've told me and say,
mhm,
all right, so what's the current consensus, or what are the arguments for? What are they against, right? And they were pretty like bound and determined to say like, oh no, this is a real thing. It's caused by this, this, and this. Now, so I took it at face value for a second, and then I
mhm,
saw somebody kind of break it down and say like, all right, so I'm a climatologist, and here's the studies that they use on this and make their
mhm.
predictions. He's like, all right, now it's not that the models are necessarily wrong, right?
Right.
It's not that the models are necessarily wrong, but what you have to understand is the models say here to here, right? The ranges that we expect are here to here. So what a lot of the basically the snowballing of the theories come from, okay, so we're going to start from here and then build the model on this
Mhm.
and then take it to here. So it's basically the red alert version of every
They've done
model, and
that.
then
They've done it ever since.
yeah.
They've done that ever since.
It's just been
Yeah.
stacking on itself.
They'll always take. Well, it depends. So, like, if you actually take a look at the IPCC's report that they put out every few
Yeah.
years, it's good. Okay, and it does have those banded pieces in there, but you never get any press on anything but the top piece. Okay, and if you have climate activists out there, they take that top piece and they use that to plug that into their tertiary models and things like that. When actually, if you take a look at where like global warming has gone over the last 30 years and where they predicted to go, it tracks 100%, but it's in that middle band. So, and it's like, okay, well, that's why you put that one in the middle.
But that's not how you sell the story.
No, that's not how a lot of people sell a story. And then a lot of people have built a lot more science on top of that. There's a lot of that ESG stuff that got, sucked into the corporate world and blah, blah, blah
Yeah.
because of BlackRock or whoever. I mean, he's not the only guy, but there's been a bunch of them.
Vanguard.
Well, Vanguard's its own thing. So,
They get their name tossed around in that too.
well, they do just because they're the biggest, but then they're based in England.
Listen, there are problems with it.
I know. Yeah, I
There
know.
are problems with the English, so
But they do like money.
love it.
Yeah, love it.
Wouldn't put nothing above it. I get it.
No.
I get it. And that's so that to get back to the point there of like energy and we're talking about here, that is why. So one of the biggest BASF is German, right?
Mhm.
Gone in China, and
Yeah, they got robbed too. Yeah.
it had they said it had nothing to do except with the cost of power.
Yep.
We cannot be profitable.
They had a huge chemical company that opened up a brand new enormous complex in like fucking Louisiana like 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, this is because we can't get energy. He's like, this is like so fucking expensive. It's like it's cheaper for us to make the chemicals here and ship them over the Atlantic than it is to actually make them in Germany. So
That's and again, that's what they're
mhm.
talking about. Is these are the things that used to be rock solid for
Totally,
Germany,
yeah.
gone.
Yeah. I don't even know if they make steel anymore. I mean, they did for generations, man.
Maybe like for knives and shit,
Maybe.
like in
Yeah.
small things,
Yeah.
and
Those things, the pots and pans and such.
pots and pans, pots and pans and stuff. Those knives,
Right.
those yes.
We make belt buckles. You know?
I would.
I don't know, man. You know, it's just it's one of those things. Like my German students are kind of reflecting that in some respects. There's a lot of like intellectual work. There's a lot of engineering work. There's all kinds of stuff like that. But again, I mean, to their point, it's like, yeah, I can get on with this firm, you know, and I can work for them for, you know, as an intern for 10 fucking years, you know, kind of thing, because it's not that big of a sector, you know,
Yeah.
um, or the same thing with finance too. You know, I've got a couple students who went into finance in Europe, and I mean, as soon as they, at least two of them, as soon as they could, they got back here to the States. You know,
Yeah.
and so this is where it's happening now, man. So
Well, because that's where they said they're absolutely stuck here in terms of transitory things. They said, all right, well, if that's the case, right, the next evolutionary point should be basically an idea mill, basically like tech services. They say, but they don't need that because if you're going to do tech services, you do it in the States
yeah, yep,
for a lot less money
yep,
and a lot bigger talent pool.
yeah, and honestly, better ideas. So,
That's
dude, have you
that's
tried to
not a
use a
joke.
fucking French app? So
Me personally, no.
I got stuck using an Australian one like 3 weeks ago at that conference. It sucked.
Sucks.
It was terrible. So it was like I could, you know, just print this out for me.
I used a Russian one.
I have one Russian one. I hear it's in France now.
I got to tell you, that's to be fair, that that particular app has been crucial as far as getting information out.
Yeah, I haven't caught
All
up, but
credit goes to
yeah,
those people.
yeah, I haven't been watching too much war porn lately. Just I don't know, man. I've been a little unplugged the last couple of weeks, just
Well,
because
nothing
it's
wrong with that.
yeah. No, I mean,
Yeah.
well, then it just doesn't feel like there's as much going on as there was like last summer. So, I mean,
Mm.
yeah, it feels like things are chilling out a little bit. You know, we got elections coming next year, midterms,
Yeah.
so it'll fire up again here soon. But like even my daily news shows, I stopped watching them because it's like, we're just talking about the same things. You know, I'll check in when something happens. How about that? You know?
All right. I think you have a good point right now because the and I'm actually kind of happy. Well, I was going to be happy about this anyway, but the reach of basically mainstream media right now is at its
It's
lowest.
got to be.
At its the thing that caught me today was the partnership between CNN and Kalshi.
And what? I
Kalshi,
don't even know what that is.
Kalshi.
Kalshi?
Yeah,
What is that?
that's a betting site. That's where they. That's
Oh,
where.
come on, man.
That's where they do all the wagering on who's going to be the next president. Every one of
Oh,
those
so
little
it's like
things.
poly market and stuff.
It is very.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
basically poly market with a different face, right? And if you're talking about, all right, number one,
That's hilarious.
that's a horrible partner for a news network to take. Just
Dude, no, it's great, man, because now you know that everything's going to be a big fucking deal all the time because they have a stake on it. You know?
that's anything.
That is so desperate. That is hilarious, dude.
You don't want to be in the situation where, all right, could we benefit by putting our thumb on the scale?
Well, that's exactly what they're doing. Come
Yes,
on, man.
yes.
You know, they're going to have that. You know, that's funny because one of the daily news shows that I watch, they actually are sponsored by Polymarket. And they'll sit there and they'll do some of that stuff every now and then. Well, let's see what Polymarket has to say about this. And that's when I kind of stopped watching it because I was like, ah, you know,
So that thing that you said about if you have like one big thing under your name, you get to ride with it, right?
yeah,
And the thing that those guys have is they were better predictors of elections than polls were.
yeah. I think
But what
that's the
happens?
nature of the category, though. That's not just due to their efforts. I mean, because if you get enough
Yes,
people out there who are putting actual money on, I mean, bookmaking has always been a thing,
that's the
you
thing.
know,
Is
and
yeah.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, all right, I can see what they're doing, but at the same point in time, I just don't really see that as. I mean, that's not going to save CNN, man. See, the
No,
only thing that's going to save CNN
no.
is if actually they go and they clean up their own house and get back to just doing basic news. But it might be too late for that, man. I mean, fuck, none of the kids watch it, so
Well, the
um,
time for that is long past. This is
yeah, I think it's too late, man.
you'd have to do that in a period when people actually gave a fuck about CNN, where you actually had you'd have to be in some kind of like market power. So I mean, that would be in the same thing. Like if NBC right now,
Hmm.
okay, we're not talking about '80s NBC.
Right.
We're talking about 2024, 2025 NBC. And so if they went in there and said, like, look, we've made a lot of mistakes. This is our staff. These are the things that we've done. These are the things that we run. Actually, I would say ABC if you're going to do anybody else. But he
Oh,
said
ABC is
it's chock
that
full
one's
of
that one. Yeah,
fucking Kool Aid drinkers. But yeah, if you go in there and say like, we have clean house. These are the heads that are on the
yeah, they're
plot.
on the wall.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And we're going to do this. You would have had to do that in 2000. You would have had to do that in 2010 for that to mean a thing.
You could have done it after the last election.
Sure,
You
sure,
know,
sure. Okay.
I don't know. I know Barry Weiss is doing stuff with CBS, but I still don't watch him. So
No,
it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, nah,
I
you know,
respect it.
fine, but I mean, it's almost like you got your hands on your fucking dad's busted up hot rod, but
Yeah.
you can't fix it, man. This thing's gone.
Is it going to cost more to restore
It's
than to buy
totally
a
going to
new one?
cost more to restore. The question is, do you want to do that? And quite honestly, that's just not how people consume news anymore, man. Local news is a little bit different. It always will be because it's a different category. Okay, I mean, you get what, maybe three segments of national news on there, and so,
And one of them is sports.
well, no, I mean, no, the sports is separate, but so you get like three national news stories on your local news. They'll be real
Okay.
quick. Hey, we blew this up, we bombed this guy got shot, whatever, something like that. And then it's like markets up this much today, and then it's weather, and then it's sports, and then it's traffic, and then it's what we have tomorrow morning, you know, and then it's done.
And those
So
things will never go away.
exactly, and so it's already formulaic down to a point. But people didn't even want to really watch that unless they're still watching, actual like broadcast TV, which maybe they are. I don't know.
Well, somebody ultimately here is all right. It will micro out in some ways. It'll
Yeah,
be like just like everything else. It's gonna subdivide,
yeah,
and it's going to. All right, this is ridiculous, but how many people those things that you just said? I watch the local news. I want three things. I want to know what the traffic is like.
yep,
I want to know what the weather is like.
yep,
And depending on this is the third category, I'm into local sports.
yeah, yeah. That's about it. Yeah, and maybe a little bit of local government, but
But you get that's the thing is it's
only if it's a problem.
well, it's not even if
Yeah,
it's a problem. It could be a big problem, but the thing here is this is what we talked about is if you watch any regular news,
hmm,
right? That is like you go in there and you say, "All right, I am going to Super McDonald's." Right? What makes it super? It uses 30% more sodium. So if you've watched any national news or seen any national news, your tongue has been fried solid
oh yeah,
by super sodium. And
right.
then when you come to local news
Blah.
and you and you see and you come in there and say what should be a big deal,
Yeah.
what should be is like, oh, this person's being indicted for
Next swipe.
and then you see the stakes or $52,000. No, you flip around and you see, holy shit, $10 billion
Yeah,
ripped off by Somalis in Minnesota.
right.
You get down and they say like, this is the biggest.
See, I bet you that's on the local news in Minnesota.
Especially when you have these receipts of people in the Minnesota government and say like, these are all the reports we've been making to the governor.
Yeah.
whistleblowing, and these are all the times that he shut us up. And these go straight back. He's like, these are our record. We've been talking about it since 2024. So yeah, that's kind of a big deal. But yeah, when you get down to, oh man, they're closing the north sides of the roads here.
Damn. Yeah. Exactly.
You just
It's like,
don't.
oh man, I like that Starbucks. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Your tongue is fried. You
yeah.
don't know how to.
No. Yeah. I got you, man. I got you. I guess like it's just some of it is just. I guess I'm getting to the point in time where I can see if there's something big going on, I can now see it. You know,
Okay.
so I don't need to watch it live. You know,
All right.
I mean, you can spend 10 minutes a day scrolling Twitter. You can get a pretty good idea of what the big fucking thing is for the day.
Yes.
You know, and if it's something that we were talking about yesterday or last month or a year ago,
Yes.
I'm good. You know, I'm good, man. I mean, I'm not on the PvP server. So,
You're not.
yeah. And
You're not.
so it's kind of like, now that I'm a little bit further back from it, just because I've been fucking busy the last couple of weeks. It's
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
kind of like, nothing's really different, man. So,
No. No. I got you. Well, the real problem there, and I think you're sort of hitting this, is when you look at the multitudes, and I mean multitudes, hundreds, thousands of places to get news right now,
oh,
right?
they're everywhere, man.
And it's not these people get up at 6:30 or 5:30 or 4:30 or they don't sleep or whatever it
Yeah.
is, and they're doing this all day, right? Thing is, George Floyd is a big moment, right? But if there's no George Floyd, you turn everything into George Floyd,
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so you have all these things that you find that are equated. You're like, this, you're selling this, but it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, and I definitely see that on YouTube with like the daily news shows and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like, all right, come on, guys. So it's just like eventually the merry-go-round spins enough. You're just like, is this all it does? This all we do is just go round, round, round. Okay, all
Well,
right. You can let me off now.
Patrick, right now, if you went onto YouTube or even on probably the channels that you frequent, right?
Mhm.
How many versions of Russia is so over would you
I
find?
don't even listen to those. I've been tuning those out for 6 months. Because it's like, no, it's not, man. It grows its own food. It makes its own shitty oil. So it'll be fine. Is it going to take over Ukraine? No, obviously not. But then it's all like, oh, rah, they took this town, and I go and Google the town. It's like, it's got 10,000 people in it. Okay, I bet you they all left.
Not just left.
Yeah,
Then you look and say, how many people died to get
a
it?
million. Yeah, I know. No,
People
that's
say,
why
yeah,
Telegram was good for that. There's a few guys you can follow on there that I follow them on Twitter now, but because they're allowed back on there.
I know.
Right, yeah.
Again, there is something to be said about the purchase of this is actually a big thing in modern American history.
Yeah, it's either going to be that or that part where it wasn't what it was supposed to be is just going to get flattened out, you know. So because it was that way before,
Correct.
yeah, and so
Yes,
yeah,
that's why you're going to be able to look at that.
right, right,
Oh,
right.
I know when these movies
Yeah, I
came
know.
out.
I mean, we still have a Germany. We don't have a Nazi Germany anymore. We still have
Right.
Germany. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just as a side note, there was something I got I watched the other day because there's been this especially with the Mondami and all this other stuff. There's been this talk about
I haven't heard anything about that guy. What's
there's
going on with him?
so there's a lot of people like the dude just won, right? And
Yeah.
there's been this kind of
Is he actually the mayor yet?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so.
He's mayor elect. I don't know
Yeah,
when.
okay. He's just fitting the curtains, right?
I imagine I
Yeah.
haven't seen ever since that happened. I have not seen anything that involves Eric Adams. I think Eric Adams.
I think he's done.
I think he banked a lot of vacation time, and
Catch me out.
I think after the election, he just said, you know what? I'm gonna burn this before I quit.
Right, yeah.
Use it or
I'm going
lose
to
it.
use it or lose it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to call in sick for 2 months.
Call in sick for 2 months. I mean, I can cash it in for 50% of the value, but I'd rather just take
That's
it.
better than zero.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
But there's this talk about how he's been. The meeting he had with Trump is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
I didn't see it. Were
You
they just
know,
cool with each other?
they were remarkably cool with each other.
See?
And
Yeah.
there's when they're at the press conference. Trump is sitting down, McNamee's standing up, and basically as they're talking, Trump just keeps like bopping him on the arm, like these guys have known each other for decades,
Yeah.
right? And they're asking him these questions about, well, how'd this meeting go? How'd this go between this? Is like, what do you think about? And one person basically frames this in terms of what they're trying to lead him into is essentially getting him to say fascist, to call Trump a fascist. And what Trump does is he just jumps in and he says, "You can call me that. Everybody called me that." And he just says, "Like you can call me a fascist. Everybody calls me." It's
It's fine.
he's like, "It's you got to say it. Go ahead and say it."
Just go ahead and say it.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're laughing at it, right? And that's the whole point. Now, what happened there is he ran on this campaign of being like, I'm an anti-Trump guy. I'm going to fight him on this, this, and this.
Yeah.
So a lot of that hardcore crowd is turning around like, you're fucking breaking bread with the enemy, dude. You've gone soft. You're an
You
insider
fucking
already.
run for mayor then.
Of
Yeah.
that city?
Yeah.
No, no. The sheer amount of people I'd have to play ball
No,
with.
not you. I mean, the fuckers who calling him out.
I mean, anybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I wouldn't do it.
I I wouldn't do it, and I'd be way corrupt, and not even on purpose.
I do it on purpose.
I would find myself in it. It's
Yeah.
because I'd be in the middle of taking a whole bunch of people at their word, right? Then things would happen. Then I'm on their boat, right?
Right.
Then I've had my picture taken. Then I have like, who was it? There were a couple guys at the airport that one of their signature things was, and this may just be an older generation thing, but what they love to do is put money in your front pocket
Oh,
or
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
it
yeah,
was,
yeah.
right? Without
Yeah.
saying, that's where it goes.
That's for you. Yeah.
Right. And I think that there would be a lot of people that I wouldn't be noticing, but they'd just be
They'd be
putting
putting
money
little dollars in there. Yeah.
in my pocket. And then
Yeah.
suddenly I'd turn around and say, like, I didn't mean to take $160,000 worth of bribes. Are these bribes?
How did it come to this?
It's in the Shawshank. I'm putting
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
like they can take it. Or I'm going to go ahead and put an air hole in my head.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a little fire right up in the yard. Have a little barbecue. Yeah, but I mean, so like the fact that I saw very little screeching and like coming out from that the couple days after, I just assumed it went fine. So, and I had like I don't know, man. I mean, so I was trying to keep touch on some people on the far left. I can't do it anymore, man.
The
So
autistic screeching is
the
something
autistic
that's hard
screeching
to
is
drown out.
well, I can't because it keeps changing, man. And so like the whole thing, just 3 weeks ago, it was Gaza, 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 Palestine, Palestine, Spain, and then now it's nothing. It's just and I'm starting to see corners of it where they're like, it's like, okay, so we're gonna go back to Bull Run. We got to get the boys back together, but we need a plan for this next one, and so they're kind of marshaling and they're throwing ideas
Yeah.
out there, and I'm starting to see some of them on Twitter. So that thing with that fucking guy who shot that healthcare dude last year,
Luigi
Louis,
Mangione.
that one's probably going to come back.
Yes.
And I hate that because that means Walter Kern is right about that. He's going to crow about it.
What did he say?
Oh, he's been calling that for like the last year, whenever it happened. So it's all set up, blah blah blah, whatever. Um,
Oh. All right.
yeah, I don't see it either, but it's kind of like shooting arrow, draw bullseye. I get it, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's a little bit of that. But the other thing is like I've been seeing a lot of like don't eat meat stuff lately on Twitter. Have you been seeing that?
Yes.
I think
Yes.
that might be next, man. I think they're what is it when you they're testing test audience. They're
Oh,
that one's
focus
in
group.
alpha.
Yeah.
That one's in
Yeah.
alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's an alpha. It's
it's
the
an alpha.
focus. Yeah. It's focus groups. Yeah.
So, because I've seen these fucked up things that are obviously AI generated, but they're getting super upvoted, and it's like, huh, I think I see what you guys are doing. I mean,
Well,
so like when Coach says we run the ball,
uh, coach says
Coach
we're a
says we're a
running
running
team. Yeah,
team.
yeah,
After I seen you guys in the playoffs for 2 weeks, I kind of yeah.
yeah. We throw 4 passes a year. Yeah, it's we run to set up a
We
pass.
run to set up a
Yeah.
pass, yeah.
No, no, you're absolutely right. I don't know if it was necessarily neat, but you're right. The rallying point I'm seeing right now
Hmm.
is they're trying to they're working on immigration and they're going to lose.
They're gonna lose
This
that
is
one.
there's two counterpoints on this that are absolutely problematic because the same stupid people making this argument can't answer this question because they say, all right, look at these jobs they were doing
Hmm.
and the prices they were paying. You're going to pay more at the grocery store.
Yeah,
What's the answer to that, Patrick?
I'm not.
Well, it's okay.
Yeah,
Number one, you're not.
yeah,
But the other thing too is you say, all right, so the whole reason that you want them here is to do jobs that we ordain
yeah.
basically
That
unfit
one's not gonna work.
for humans. You say, okay, and there's like, who's going to do these jobs? Like, well, anybody would do these jobs if they
If they
paid
paid
more,
more,
right?
yeah,
And they say, well, they shouldn't pay more. It's like that's slavery,
yeah. No, that one's not gonna work. So
and they
because
keep saying it.
they keep trying it, and that's because they've got some weird leftover like super free market like libertarian dudes who kind
This
of
is just left people,
well,
but
no, I
yeah,
know, but they're kind of using some of that oh free market blah blah blah
right,
kind of thing.
right.
And it's not going to work because it doesn't resonate with either audience. So you know the racism thing isn't working at all because
No,
now I mean it's like
it's calloused over.
yeah I get it and
Yeah,
it's like all right so that one's already healed. I'm not going to pick at that scab anymore, and if you call me that I'm just going to say all right and then pull shit anyway. you know but then like the other one it's the animal one, it's the housing one that I see a little bit, but I don't think that one's going to go out either.
the animal one.
No, the housing one. I think the
Oh,
animal one's probably got a little bit more oomph behind it because, quite honestly, I mean, you got to find something that actually doesn't just appeal. See, this is the problem is like with the whole Palestine thing is it split that camp. It split a
yeah.
little iceberg off, the Trump camp, which is now rapidly drifting towards the Bahamas.
And the thing is, it's not.
when
That's what I thought
When
was.
Dave Smith switches from talking about fucking APAC to
Uh,
Pearl Harbor was a setup, that he knows that he's
that
just not getting payola out of it anymore, man.
no, that's.
So and I mean even
Uh,
Candace Owens, oh my gosh, I follow her and it's just it's like painful. To watch even guys like Tim Pool turn on her. It's like, oh my God, you're fucked.
we,
Because everybody figured out who Nick Fuentes was in about 10 minutes. So they were like, oh, you wanted to go from 5 million views to 10 million views. Good job, bro.
you got him.
You got him, dude.
You got him.
You got him. And you stabbed a whole bunch of customers out of Tucker, which was masterful. But nobody takes you seriously, man. So
No.
no.
Yeah, but I knew that dude was a jerk off from a long
See,
time
I didn't
ago.
really
This
know
is,
him,
this
but
is,
so the whole thing
he was
that
a fucking lolcow from back in the
yeah,
day. It's weird when you, at least from my spirits, weird when you see one of those people actually crest out into regular space.
yeah, that's weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be like our weatherman. Just
All of a sudden, hosting nightly news. Yeah,
that's correct. It's
yeah.
on Saturday Night Live.
It's like, yeah, I know Mike Benson.
Exactly. Was that Lauren guy?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. He went to my friend's church. Um,
right. Yeah, I saw him at a basketball game once.
you did, yeah. It's like that the Mike McDivitt
Right.
arguing in front of the Supreme Court.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It's like I drive by your billboard every day.
Yeah. But yeah, you're
Frank Azar made it to Congress. Wow.
don't say that. Well, actually, that's not fair. I don't know his politics.
He's a
I don't
Denver
know.
guy.
Yeah.
So I know he's a Denver guy. So whatever.
So I presume he believes in some bullshit. But yeah, it's well, I mean, because yes, all right, I don't want
I
to go
don't
into,
know.
but yeah. So things like you're right, immigration, that's a dead thing. You can't. You can't.
It
The
doesn't
only
work.
thing is that you can get the extreme people on your side to get boners over this. Nobody else is going to touch that, right? Everybody else disagrees with you. The other things, like, yeah, Palestine, like you said, most people, it's where, oh, they're at peace. Oh, well, I
Exactly.
don't know what to be mad at
Yeah.
then.
As soon as they said, "Oh, they're at peace," and then it was like, "Okay, so how many of them did they kill today? None." It's like, "Oh, what about tomorrow? No, no, no plans." And then I mean, it tried starting up like once or twice, but then it was just like, well, yeah, there's the holdouts over here, so we had to rocket them.
Right,
Okay,
right,
they're done.
right,
Okay, there were none of that going on today.
right,
And then all of a sudden, we didn't get this like flood of like, oh my God, look at these mass graves, because they weren't there. I
right.
mean, that was the whole thing, and it's just like it took all the gas out of that. And Israel's got its own problems, its own internal fights going on that people don't have the patience for. So they're just like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
So I don't understand it. And then, yeah, and so you have these few people who really planted their flag on that, who are just, they're done. They're lost. It's like, okay, so what are we going to talk about today? So, yeah, how about them Chiefs? It's like, that's not this kind of channel, dude. You know?
no, you're right. And, well,
Yeah,
and so a lot of the other things have been sort of resolved where they're going to be.
yeah.
For the most part. So there's the little, like you talked about, the little border push, like at Ukraine and Russia about certain identity things. Like the transgender thing is done. Like people,
That's done. Ukraine's basically done. I mean,
the places. I mean, that's the places where identity politics work are already there.
yeah.
You're not converting anyone new,
No,
right? So these lines have been drawn. It's not getting any more traction. There's like you can't misgender me. It's like in San Francisco I can't. Over here I can.
yeah.
Where do you live? You
Right.
live
Yeah,
here?
yeah. You live
Okay.
here.
Well, I live as many miles away from you as I possibly can
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
If you're in my neighborhood, I'll do this. Right?
Right.
So that kind of shit's taken care of. The thing with the weightlifting contest the
What
strongman
is this?
contest. So
I don't know
basically,
anything about this.
a male who identified as female entered the women's strongman contest.
So you really did the fucking Randy Savage.
The thing that they said never happens happened again for like the
Totally happened.
75th
Yeah.
time. And so the she
Luck is for dudes.
so so I think it's
Oh,
Brian,
yeah.
the actual, like, one of the world's strongest men, Brian
Oh, the
something.
guy, the local guy, Brian.
There's another one that's smaller but also just enormous, right?
Oh,
So
one guy I know who you're talking about, Brian. He's from Fort Collins. So yeah,
yeah, because there's one dude that's an absolute, like,
that's the guy who played the mountain. Yeah.
yeah.
The Littlevar guy is actually stronger than that guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
Yeah.
He was the one that was talking, and
Yeah.
so he was talking about this event, and he's like, he was listening to a show about the results,
Yeah.
and he heard the name of the person in second place, and he's like, I know her.
Yeah.
That chick is badass.
Yeah.
And when he heard the person lost, right? He's like, who the fuck beat her?
Yeah.
And they looked at the name. He said, I've never seen that name before. And so, yeah, this guy entered the contest, said they were a female, right? Crushed the second place
Yeah.
person,
Yeah. I believe
right?
that. Yeah.
Walked off with the trophy, and the organization that was in charge of that, right? They said, well, we didn't know. They wrote this on the piece of paper and we didn't ask, right? So we just let it rock. What happened was within 2 days, they reversed the decision. But
Okay.
2.5 years ago, 3
They
years
wouldn't have
ago,
done that.
this would have been a national fucking fight. But every place, the Olympics has gone back on this.
That one actually did surprise me. So
Yeah, because those guys
yeah.
are kind of fucking, those guys are
Well, they
paused.
yep. I mean, I'm glad they saw the light on that one. So
Well, again, this is the same thing where what happened last year in women's boxing? The top two contenders.
we're dudes.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
that is correct. And that is exactly the kind of thing that you say, I'm so feminist, I hate women.
Well,
And that's where,
so
as
that one's done.
the far left has been in that Ouroboros eating their own tail for a little bit, but it's just, they've hit the. There is no rubber meets the road part here. It's done.
I don't know, man. We'll have to see. I mean, they'll come up with something. My fear now is that, like, you know, like red team's going to fuck something up.
Oh
So, I
yeah,
mean, for sure.
absolutely.
The question is like, where does the actual? Because I mean, like, I haven't seen any polling, and I wouldn't trust any polling right now anyway, because everybody's going to self-select into those things.
Yeah.
But I'd be curious if like Trump's not at like the height of his popularity. I know you're going to go see like fucking polls that say, oh, he's down below, 50% or 47% or whatever. But he's never been able to crest more than like 51 or 52. And dude, I know
Yeah.
plenty of people who, like, I'm kind of one of them. I wouldn't vote for the guy, but I can root for him, kind of thing. So, and I know a lot of people who are like that. All right, but like if you ask me like, do I approve? I'd say yes on a poll right now. But I'm not going to answer a fucking poll. Okay.
No.
If I were going to answer a poll, and if I was like my brother, I would vote twice no. you know? Okay. And so I don't trust any of the polls right now. That's just what I'm saying. All right. So, but I just kind of getting a feel for the people that I know. All right. So, with the exception of a few diehards who are like completely, I mean, they have permanent cases of TDS,
Yeah.
which is fine. Okay. We just don't talk about this shit.
Right.
All right. So, it's not like it was like 2 years ago.
No.
It's not even and the number of people who I know who kind of like, yeah, kind of, is up, and so I'm kind of curious, like, there's going to be something that happens in the next 2 years. It's almost like JD Vance has too much time left on the and so
That's a good point.
if blue team doesn't get their shit like sorted out over something that they decide to fight everybody else on, that isn't fucking insane,
Yes.
um, then they're gonna lose, unless they find something that's actually legit on the other side that pisses a whole bunch of people off. So,
I agree.
and I don't know what that would be. It might be our fucking Epstein files, which we're still not getting. You never know.
They voted to release
I
it.
know.
I don't know.
This, my money. Okay, so if we're gonna play Magic Squares on this one, my money is still on. They ain't nothing there, so they can't release nothing because there ain't shit there.
They keep posting things from it like it's new. They redact stuff on stuff that was already released.
I know.
Look what we just found.
I know. I think they're desperate, man.
Well, this is
And that guy, like the Cash Patel guy who runs the FBI, man. I mean, dude, he looks a little crazier every picture that I see of him lately.
well.
So
If you take the ruler,
he seems frazzled. So
well, it's not necessarily frazzled. Is that if you look at it, you can measure it. It's like, all right, so I took the ruler with the little lines on it, and it's like, yes, every time I see you, your eyes are this much further out of your head. Am I wrong?
no, they're starting to do this a little bit.
That's
too,
correct. Yeah.
But see, I think my point is, I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't really know that much about him. I know he had a podcast before, blah blah blah, and he'd show up on Fox.
His numbers are good in terms of
that.
Yeah.
Numbers are fine. Okay, numbers are absolutely fine. But every time I see him, he gets a little bit more frazzled. And I mean, imagine this: if you built a career on like releasing, like the JFK file.
Yeah.
Then you get into the job where it is in your bottom drawer, and you open the drawer, and it's this thin. And you're like, and everybody's like, well, wait a minute, you guys hit it all? It's like, no, here's the law. It's been sitting there since 1960. You never first got to touch it since then. And you just realize that it's like, well, fuck.
It's Al Capone's vault.
Exactly. That's exactly what
Al
it
Capone's
is.
vault.
It is Al Capone's vault. Yeah, that fucking, that what do they call those time lock safes? So
Well, I mean, I don't remember it was time locked, but I know that it was a big deal that they found it.
right.
There's like 126 million people watching it live. And Geraldo opens it up, and there's like 2 bottles.
It's exactly like a receipt from fucking King Super.
Well, that's easy. It's so what would that be like Aldi or
yeah,
like
Allie's 5 and dime. Yeah, exactly.
there wasn't. He was like, "There's his hat."
Right.
It was,
Yeah, exactly. So he's left some cigarettes in here.
yeah, it turns out that the people back then must have known that there was a vault, and they needed to take whatever was in there out.
Well, that becomes the next step.
Right.
But when you're in charge of the agency in the organization that has access to all of that shit,
Yeah. Yeah.
you can't really do that, man. You know?
Well, unless here's the thing: unless you come clean on day one, you
Well,
can do
yeah,
that.
he couldn't do that because he didn't know. So, or if he didn't know, um, or if he did know, he was probably thinking, well, somebody else is hiding some shit.
Yeah.
You know, and then I mean, you rummage around the office long enough. I mean, I'm sure the FBI has every note it's ever taken ever. So,
I I would argue that there are probably things. Right. It goes to the unknown unknowns thing. I'll guarantee you that there are things in there that people have said make this disappear. This
right,
goes. This goes. Um, Now, I will say this. This is this is just from learning and expanding and seeing what corruption looks like around the globe.
yeah,
The United States is the most transparent,
yeah,
wholly held accountable. Like every branch of government, for the most part, is, I would say, 94% see through.
yeah.
And there's some bad shit that happens in the background, but that's the rarity. When I saw, again, this is
Well,
this.
yeah, and oftentimes it comes out because you have a huge incentive to get it out there, man.
Yes,
So,
yes, absolutely. And this is like just from watching when I saw. I don't want to go into Russia or anything, but this is all stuff that you know, where they say, all right, if you ever wanted to know about what Russia's military is like and why it's a problem, it's this.
mhm,
So they give this money to this guy.
mhm,
He says, you have to buy these tires.
right,
He says, no problem. Then he takes half the money and, and he buys tank tires from Goodyear. And and then they're like, well, some of this is supposed to go to maintenance, no problem. So he takes a little bit of his cash flows, gives it to the maintenance guy, says, all right, so I need shells for
mhm,
these tanks. No
no
problem.
problem.
And then he goes and buys shells. He's like, it costs more if I fill the shells with something.
Right. Can I
So,
get empty shells?
and they
Yeah,
do.
and they do.
And this shit actually
Yeah,
happened
it happens
a
all the time.
lot,
A lot.
right? But this is again, this is sort of like where it comes in with the government thing is if you have shit that was burned, the people who are good at disposing evidence at the FBI are great at it.
Yeah. I just don't think that there's actually that much there, man. You know, I
If
mean,
there was, it was picked clean.
it was either
You don't
pit
know.
cleaned or, you know, but even then, so his real problem is not whether or not guys actually burn that shit. His real problem now is he can't manufacture shit,
Right.
you know, because it'll get called out immediately,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
because people are all over this. So he's really in his own, like, you know, I mean, I don't know how you put yourself into your own headlock, but he did it.
No, man, somebody on the back end or somebody that you don't go into that unless you have some kind of like tip where you're like,
Yeah.
get in here, this is what we know, right? You got to come see this,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you start talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yes, when you get there, it's like, well, we have this.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not going to put it past anybody to make something up out of whole cloth. So,
It's happened.
well, totally it's happened, you know, and that's my point with him too.
Ripping
I mean,
babies out of incubators.
well, it's ripping, yeah, that's right. Yeah, smashing them against walls. So, yep.
Happened in our lifetime.
Happened in our life. There have been many things like that. You know, but, I mean, the whole idea that, like, you know, you could just, I mean, be in charge of the agency and not find out the guys who had done that. You know, that kind of blows my mind
Right.
in some respects
Right.
because you still have people there who are definitely going to be loyal to you because you're the guy now and you will be for at least the next 4 years. Okay. If not longer because you get appointed for 10. Who knows? So,
You salute the rank, not the man.
exactly. You know, and you're always going to find people, you're always going to find folks like that. Who, you know, there's just like the FBI is not some monolithic thing. The CIA is kind of like that, but the FBI is not. You know, I mean, people quit it all the fucking time. So, you know, and then they go write books or they become consultants or, you know, they fucking join the military, whatever. You know, I mean, you're not going to find a lack of people who are willing talking. It's a much bigger agency than most of them too. So
Where they have branches everywhere.
they have branches everywhere. They have, they have ways of making you cooperate. So, and when it comes down to it, man, I just don't. My money is still on that square that okay, if there is any Epstein shit, first of all, 99.9% of all the girls were legal. So, meaning they weren't 14, like everybody was saying. Number two, we already know most of the guys who are there. All right. And then number three, if we don't know some of the guys who are there, it's probably because they're donors rather than fucking politicians. So more so than anything else,
It's possible.
And
Yeah.
so, when it really comes down to it, they're names that only certain people would recognize. And so they're not worth shit.
All right. I'll close on this because yeah, we're opening up a huge rabbit hole on this. But the problem that I have like with Epstein's Island is I hate to say it because I mean if you go into that realm that you're talking about, it's like most of them are. In order for it to have any appeal that you can't get somewhere closer,
Yeah,
is they'd have to have underage people there or something like that. That is distinct. Now,
maybe.
well, you would because
Yeah.
otherwise, here's the thing, it's like
I think the appeal would be there's no fucking cameras, there's no press, there's no cops. I think that would be the appeal more so than anything else. It's just private.
yeah, but that's the thing is Bob Kraft of the Patriot got a rub and tug at like the neighborhood place.
I don't think Bob Kraft is as careful.
Bob
But
Kraft
he
is,
did. You're right. He did. So
to get on a plane to do that, you have to have something that's like, all right, I have to go to this. If you're West Coast, you're like, well, Vegas is there, Reno is right there.
Right.
Nobody's gonna say a fucking word.
Right. But okay. So all right. So say I'm wrong on this and say like half the girls on the island were underage. Where are they? Where the fuck are they?
Supposedly
We
they
sh-
testified.
okay. Well, then we can verify that. So get it out there. So, but my gut is that like number one, okay, if there were any that were underage, they were like barely underage. So they're doing that high school senior bullshit thing that people do from time to time.
Yeah.
And then number two is that quite honestly, all right, so if there are some that were like legit trafficked, and like gone through the system and things like that, there would be tons of corroborating evidence of that. So in some respects that you would be able to actually determine in one way or another. But, I mean, you can't just put all that stuff under lock and key.
I guess the thing that I would be looking for
Mm-hmm.
is the things that I haven't heard are basically like I heard from a friend who heard from a friend. There's no because
Yeah.
there's eventually a point where yes, I understand that the story gets a little bit longer as it goes,
Mm-hmm.
but certain things like you're talking about is like okay, well, not me and not my friend, but his friend was in the FBI or
Yeah. So
something like
let's talk to that guy. Yeah.
there's something over there where you have a connection where it's like oh yeah, no, my girlfriend worked for her. She did that for 2 summers, right, or whatever,
Or
right?
whatever. Yeah. Or a fucking guy who cut his grass or something there. You'd find something.
Because the same reason, we talked about like ways of having make you talk. Like they don't have to waterboard you. They can go and say like, oh, well, just I'm going to peel
Get
off
his
some bills.
pilot. Yeah. Where's your
Just
fucking, yeah, give
peel
us
off
your
some
pilot's
bills. It's like,
license,
just
man. Come
talk.
on, man.
Right?
I mean, like, I'm
They
sorry,
do
dude.
that.
It's way too, yeah, it's just, if it's the big conspiracy that everybody thinks it is, there is so little evidence that is obtainable that there's no fucking way they were able to clean that entire thing up. So come on, man.
Again, just to,
So
to
that's
put
why
out
I
there,
think it's a small thing. I don't think it's a great big. I think it's very small.
I think there were a handful of very loyal customers,
Possibly, yeah.
repeat
But I think we
customers.
know who they all are. So
I think Bill Gates made that trip many
I
times.
know Bill Gates. Bill Gates is definitely one of them. Alan Dershowitz was probably one of them, although he was actually able to fight off most of the accusations against him with actual evidence. And so, and then there's a couple other guys, and there's the whole thing. How did he get this money? And then they were talking to, well, this guy gave him like $200 million to over the years to do his taxes. And then what you go ask billionaires, like, did you pay someone $200 million to do your taxes? Like, fuck no. Okay, so that guy All right,
Right.
so now we
Right.
found two of y'all.
Well,
I mean, come on, dude.
you just came to that thing like, what should happen to the guy that paid? I
Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
think he's done more for society than
Right?
good
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
harm.
So he learned his lesson.
You have to look at things
Right?
holistically.
Yeah, exactly. What would you do in that
As a
situation?
businessman.
All right,
All
fuck
right.
that.
Yeah. All
I'm
right.
Pat
I'm Jeffrey.
in the boat.